Yeah. Turn it off. One Team Media.
We showed you what the GOAT was last year when we beat y'all 50-7.
Let's go! One team!
Relax, big boy.
One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
Team One Podcast?
One Team, One Podcast?
Yeah, they did a good job.
Really good job.
Yeah. Why is he so fat?
One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast. One team, one podcast.
One
team, one podcast.
Welcome back. One Team, One Podcast. Matt, Jack. We have Sam doing the producing. We have Jude in the background still.
Obviously.
And then we have Devin joining us. You joined us one other time, Devin.
Yes, sir.
But now you're here in Baton Rouge.
Yep. For the week.
That's right. So, and you're going to be full-time back here for August, right?
Yep. Going to Aruba for about 2 weeks.
Aruba, Jamaica.
I've been singing that for about a month now. And I was listening to that on the way over here. But yeah, I'll be over there for about 12 days, and then I'll be back here around August.
Awesome.
15th, 20th.
Part of the
on there. And,
Devin handles the One Team Media account on Twitter, and you're going to see a lot more of him, especially for the fall whenever we do this. We were just talking about a whole bunch of different ideas, like should I say it? Death Valley Confessional. See if somebody trademarks that before me.
I got a Death Valley confessional. I'm about to die with this equipment over here. That's my confessional.
Sam
for
is
that.
stressed.
I'm chiming in.
Out.
That's the Courtesy Automotive Studio confessional.
Courtesy Auto. Yeah, it's going to be a sponsored confessional. But before we get started with anything on the show today, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. It's Bank of England Mortgage. They're our sponsor for all of our audio podcasts, so we appreciate Bank of England. We also have River Cities Total Maintenance. That's Lucas Ragusa over at River City, so you need to check them out on the North Shore and in New Orleans. I know we have a few listeners in New Orleans, so check them out for any of your AC needs. Also, Relief Pools. Ben Landry at Relief Pools doing tons of work right now. Trying to see, there's a little area for a hot tub right over there. So we're going to get in touch with Ben about that. And then last but not least, for the first segment, we have Fred's Bar in Tigerland. Just talked to Jason the other day over at Fred's. Everybody knows Nay over there. We're going to do some, we got some big things in the works with Fred's in Tigerland. So we appreciate those guys. We're going to get started here. The name of this episode is the Offseason, SZN. Yeah, that's how the kids do it, right? Season.
SZN. You just say season.
Season.
Yeah, season.
You don't say it like season.
No.
You just say it's season.
No, that's ridiculous.
All right, off season right now. I think everybody wants to be in like how many weeks we got left? We have what? 7 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, 7, 6, 7,
something and a half.
Yeah.
52 days, 7 weeks.
I think for the next 7 weeks, LSU fans want everybody to debate Miles versus Max.
Yep.
And I'm not going to do it.
Yes,
I'm not going. Maybe for a couple of weeks, but I'm not going to do it all off season. That's fucking ridiculous.
So far, we've done it every week. I don't know if you.
We're not doing it today.
Yeah,
tell you that. Oh, you are. We are. Okay.
I think it should be Max.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is both these guys are coming in there and they're giving it their all to help LSU win football games. So, I think you just got to trust the coaching staff and how many times we've got to go back to that.
And I really think that when it comes to LSU, it's like if you look at this year's team and you're like, oh, yeah, they should make the college football playoff, I think you're pretty brainwashed. It's like that's a lot of like delusion right there. I think the next 2 years is what they're building for because most of these guys are going to be back. And, yeah, I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer on nothing, but it's just like common sense. You don't go from 5-5 to the playoff. There's no Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase walking through those doors.
But you can go from the playoff to 5-5. So I think you can just flip it back around.
There's the guys that
not how it works. Coming from an Auburn fan, not how that works.
the guys that are in
Yeah, but we don't have
position.
Chiswick.
Yeah, the talent that is going to be necessary for them to get back does not have the experience necessary yet.
Great. Well said.
My
Disagree.
only
We're going undefeated.
rebut is that what you say? Rebuttal,
Yeah.
rebut though.
I'm
It's
going
rebut.
to. You're going to rebut it.
Yes.
This is your rebuttal.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I have a rebuttal.
I've
My
rebutted
rebuttal
plenty
is
of times in my life, but this rebuttal would be that. All right, where was I even going? All right, 2018.
Yeah.
I think that 2018 wasn't as good of a statistical year, and we should be looking at 2018 as a model of like, okay, here's how our offense improved from 2018 to 2019. You're just sick of this conversation? Is that why you
No,
did
I'm
that?
trying to think about what you're
Okay.
saying.
All right, so
Yeah.
we changed coaching staffs, right? And you went from a conservative offense.
Les Miles was a decade behind.
No, but this was Ed Ogeron. But this is 2018,
This is
which
second
is
full season.
Coach E.
Ensminger is the offensive coordinator, and you're in a system. You're under the center a lot, and you've changed to a completely different offense.
It was like a spread / pro hybrid.
And I'm pretty sure we can all agree that 2020 was a step back offensive philosophy from 2019.
Oh, they
At
went
this
back
point.
to the same stuff they did the year before.
Right.
18.
So, if that's the case, then why couldn't you see a drastic improvement if the coaches that we're bringing in is running more of a scheme like 2019 would be?
Well, you just said you got a new coaching staff, so then there's a step back with the new coaching staff.
And the thing is, DJ Mangus.
That's not necessarily true.
DJ Mangus should have been given the job he has now. He should have been the replacement. They should have just
The offensive coordinator. He should be the offensive coordinator instead of the passing coach. Or you should. You mean?
he should have been the passing game coordinator when Joe Brady left.
I think
Gotcha.
it's safe to say that optimism in Baton Rouge is high
Sure.
for the team.
Yes.
Over the next 3-year window, there's a reason to be extremely optimistic. I just think it's like if you're expecting a championship this year, don't be surprised if your heart's broken.
Y'all tweet at Devin and tell him why he's wrong.
It's
Y'all
like-
take all that hate to Devin.
Yeah, and show
All right.
the chat. Show the chat because I'm sure they're all in there talking
So
storm.
yeah, I'd love to hear it. But you look at it.
Here's a chat. Never mind. No, there's no one in the chat.
My another thing that I'll say on this is 2019 to 2020. I think that it's not just Mangus, but also Pete's involved here, and I think that you have better personnel now than what you had from 2019 to 2020. So I think you're improved that much more in 2021.
I would say in terms of like receiving personnel last year, I'd say they were definitely better on paper. It was just like Coach E and O, like their reluctancy to trust freshman skill position players is unbelievable. Like they won't do it until it's like the last resort. Like the bowl game against Central Florida, they finally put Jamar in.
Right.
120 yards. They finally play Butte, most receiving yards in a game in SEC history. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
what would this guy have done if you put him on the field with Terrace Marshall and gave him a real role on the team instead of, okay, we got to wait till Terrace and Arik are gone to start throwing number one the ball. It just makes no sense to me. And that's like this year, I think they're going to make the mistake of playing guys like that are older receivers as opposed to their incoming freshman receivers that should be all NFL players here come 3 years, but the same issues. It's like you've seen so many mistakes and reluctancy to trust the young guys. Because, I mean, even LSU last year, once they started playing the young guys, they were winning games. And it was like once they got the old like leftovers that couldn't really see the field on the good teams, it was like they started showing some optimism. They weren't a contending team, but they were a young team that you could get excited about.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
I say, I mean, as we look ahead, looking at LSU's schedule, you know, a realistic finish for LSU is, biased Auburn fan, War Eagle, War Damn Eagle, as a matter of fact. It's a podcast. I can cuss. I can curse. Auburn, questionable in my mind, but in reality, Alabama, questionable as a win or loss, and then Texas A&M, questionable. As much as like nobody really wants to say it, it's like Texas A&M is on the up and up, and they give LSU a fight. And then other than those two games, you know, where's LSU going to lose? I think
So
it's like really comes down to talent,
right?
on the other side of the field.
I posed that question on Twitter, and one of my statements was it was really hard to find the second loss.
Right.
Like we all are going to assume that Alabama's going to be the first loss or one loss, and when it comes to the second loss, I could easily say we can win those games. So when it comes to like Texas A&M, Ole Miss, those are two games that people start talking about that we could lose. And I can give you a complete answer of why we can win those games.
My rebuttal or
Rebuts.
No.
We're going to call them
Anyways,
rebuts.
You're rebutting.
Ole Miss doesn't have the talent like LSU does. That's all I want to throw in there. I mean, they don't have it on the talent on the defense side of the ball. They don't have the talent on the offense side of the ball.
If they weren't going to beat us last year, how are they going to beat us?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're in a completely different situation.
I'm gonna get killed for this, but
Okay.
earlier today, I said 10-2. If 10-2,
Okay.
if Max
Okay.
Johnson's the quarterback.
Okay.
10-2,
I'm with
15-0 if Miles Brennan's a quarterback.
8-4.
No,
8-4 in that scenario.
8-4. Yeah.
No, I
Ooh,
love
that
them.
8.5.
I love them both.
Okay. Go ahead.
I would say 10-2. A&M has no business with LSU as long as like their back seven is just like average. Because
Right.
they're not going to blow them up down the field. They are very, very limited offense.
Absolutely.
I don't trust that. I mean, if LSU started Max Johnson last year, they win that game.
They'll go
Yeah.
as far as Haynes King is going to take them.
And that's about
Yep.
the ground right there.
I
Andrew
don't know
Martin
about
in the
that. I mean,
chat
I
says-
think there's definitely some potential there with him.
Says A&M never puts up a fight in Death Valley. Are they in Baton Rouge this year?
Yes.
Yep.
In Baton Rouge.
Yeah. They've also never had a good team come to Baton Rouge, other than the Johnny Manziel team in 2013.
Which Mike
that
Evans.
doesn't change this year either.
Sure. I mean, maybe so.
I don't think.
But I don't know. I think the direction that Jimbo's taking that program right now, I actually think is actually.
Oh, very good.
I think they're in a really good direction.
He's definitely earned that contract up to this point.
especially defensively.
Yeah, they've got to get more explosive on offense, keep bolstering that secondary, and I'm like, they're definitely a good team. I was probably a little harsh on them there, but
Yeah.
they're a top 25 team. But the moment you put them on a field with a contender, they're getting smoked. So it's not.
I
They
think
haven't
it's their
proven themselves.
philosophies, right? Like offensively,
and
you
the
got
roster.
Jimbo Fisher that is an offensive mind, quote unquote, but it's very pro style. It's not the college offense that you would expect to be an explosive offense. And yeah, they're recruiting at the lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
That's
I was
line.
saying.
they're not recruiting
Oh,
these skill guys that they
they're-
should be recruiting.
Their running back room is awesome. I mean, if LSU had
Yeah,
that running
Isaiah
back room, I would do
Spiller.
anything.
Right.
Anaya Smith, even
Isaiah Spiller.
Yeah,
Isaiah
Spiller,
Spiller,
Devon
right.
Shane, all three of those guys, they're just going to be menaces. Like,
Right.
imagine what they would do if they could stretch the field on that offense. Like,
Yeah.
that would. I mean, you put those any of those three.
That's another question mark for them is just who's going to step up at wide receiver. For
nobody.
them.
I mean, Damos is. Wiedermeyer is one of the best tight ends in America, but other than that,
Yeah,
Weedermeyer's still there. Yeah, that's
he's
right.
he's incredible.
He's young,
but
actually.
he's not exactly like a elite pass catcher by
No.
any means.
Well,
I
he's
would
all right.
say he is. Like,
He's okay.
I mean, I
he's
feel
good
like-
for a tight end. Yeah.
I feel like he does it all.
Yeah.
He's a good blocker.
He's like
and
a
he's a good catcher.
Sternberger.
I wouldn't say he's elite. at
Sternberger
anything.
light.
oh, I
kind
would
of-
say he's definitely better than Jace.
Really?
Way better athlete.
Okay.
That's
That's good.
Better athlete, more speed. Like
I'd say they're pretty similar though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I mean, this is the same offense that scored. I know it was bad weather, but 20 points on us, a bad defense.
Yeah,
and one of them was a pick six.
That's right. So,
True.
well, offensively, then they only
That's
scored
right.
13.
13
right?
points.
Right.
And Kayshawn, I'm not going to blame refs. LSU wasn't as good as A&M last year. I don't
Right.
whatever.
We shouldn't have won.
But Kayshawn
But-
Butte's touchdown should have counted, and
That's fair.
Max Johnson doesn't throw that pick six. So
That's true.
Yeah, we did have the wrong quarterback in at the
We-
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see what happens if they didn't have their third
Like
best
a
quarterback
running
in.
quarterback with that weather actually would have been,
Incredible.
significantly better.
So let's just talk about it then. Miles and Max, you
Ah.
want to do that? Is that what you were going for?
we
I'll tell you what, you guys
did it.
lost
Trying
to
to bait
Jim
me?
and TJ Finley, you idiots. Y'all really messed up for losing TJ Finley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
Oh my God, we have to go in
No,
on
no, no,
Brian
no, no.
Harsin tonight, aren't we? That
yeah.
guy's a
Wow.
clown.
No, I think we are.
The Boise State way. It didn't even work at Boise.
Yeah.
What do you? I'm not doing it. I'm not
Okay.
doing it.
What?
Sorry, Matt.
You don't
Go
want
ahead.
Yeah.
to
No, no, no,
debate
no.
it?
He's trying to get you to bite.
He's
Yeah,
gonna. He's trying
do
to.
it.
Yeah.
Bite.
Yeah.
No,
He's
Wait,
trying to get you.
I'm being honest. They have some talent, but what makes them better than Gus?
He runs a real offense. Gus runs a wide receiver screen every third down. Halfback draw. Ooh, I can't do it. Halfback draw, 1st and 10. Okay, wide receiver screen, slant pass, out route to set, the jet sweep. We have 6 plays. So we do a wide receiver screen every 4 times. Everybody knew it. Raise your hand if you knew it was coming. A wide receiver screen, a halfback dive with the middle. Raise your hand with Gus Miles on.
Well,
everybody.
I'm not taking your bait.
He sucks.
But
I'm sorry.
Holy shit!
What I'll tell you is, I'm from Austin. Grew up watching the Longhorns a lot. I was never a fan of them, but the moment they hired Brian Harsin, that's why they suck now. He ran that program into the ground as an offensive coordinator.
I can't wait to get the J-Boy show on.
All I'm gonna say.
Hey, let's click Jude in for the QB talk real quick.
Yeah, thank you, Jude. I need a.
Jude said he wants in on the QB talk.
All right, come on.
All right, Jude. What's your hot take this week? You got anything new?
It's the same one since I've been hired. Miles should start. Miles should start.
Why?
I don't know if I can make it. Why?
Do you want a new coach?
Let me backtrack here. Let me backtrack. There should be a more open quarterback battle than this. What's his name? Max Johnson just automatically gets this job.
Oh,
that's my back.
You just automatically forgot his name?
Yeah, you didn't forget his name. That was a lie.
Yeah, you did that. That was a shot.
It's a plain Anglo-Saxon name. I can obviously it's Jackson and Matt and Devin and Sam. Give me any of that.
Okay, William. Samuel. Calm down, William.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
good
Jude,
deal.
Jude,
Appreciate it, Jude.
I'd rather talk about Gus Miles on.
Jude, did you know Miles Brennan will be 23 years old this year and he's never won a home game in his career?
That's insane.
That's bad.
Yikes.
All right.
Yikes.
Can I bring him back in for his
bring him back in. Let's rebut.
I mean, he had a chance against Troy.
Did you know that? Did you know that if Kyle Pitts doesn't sit out the Florida game, Max Johnson might be null and void in that conversation?
No,
he still hung 55 the next week.
No,
52.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, but I mean, Kyle Pitts wasn't there, but Stingley wasn't there either. And also our fucking defensive coordinator was Bo Pelini. So
that's also Florida's fault because they rested Pitts in games last year in which they thought they didn't need him. That's pretty self-inflicted.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so
yeah.
I think we can all agree here then that it's Max Johnson, right?
Yep, I think Jude agrees with us too, actually. And he's not allowed back in the studio.
Summer, the wife of One Team, One Podcast, has joined us.
I have too much power here controlling when Jude talks and when Jude doesn't talk.
That's true. That's a great point.
Summer, come on.
Real Housewives.
Do we have snacks coming? No snacks tonight.
No snacks today?
Okay. What's your thoughts, Max Johnson or Miles Brennan? Go ahead, Summer.
Wow, you really think that about Miles?
One game tomorrow, and the aliens are coming down to us.
Summer wants to give him a chance. She's a Miles Brennan. She hates Max Johnson. Hates Max Johnson. Well, that's one of the things that people say on Twitter. Is like, all right, if you are for Max Johnson, then obviously, and people would say that to us. They were like, why do you hate Miles Brennan? And I'm like, I don't hate anybody. I just think that the guy's going to start. That's all it is. Thank you, Summer, for your contribution.
I don't hate Miles Brennan. It's just a simple precedent is if you're building a team for the future, like young teams, pretty young. I mean, skill position, they're all going to be returning next year.
Yeah.
Why do we want to be in the same exact scenario next year with Max, Nuss, Walker Howard? Why? That's pointless.
Well, Walker Howard's going to win the job.
Can we talk about the Walker Howard Nussmeier competition?
Oh my God! 2 weeks in a row, we've talked about how good LSU's quarterbacks are. Guys, you had one quarterback. You've had one. And we're on this.
No, with this offense, you can recruit quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know. He's good too. We had two, Nick Marshall. Oh yeah,
Nick Marshall was
Nick
good.
Marshall was
He was-
electric.
I
not
love
a quarterback.
Nick Marshall.
Not
I
a
loved
quarterback.
him though. So
Yeah,
fun
but
to
he
watch.
If you're
ran
bringing
that
up
offense
Nick Marshall,
perfectly.
then I'm bringing
He
up
ran the
Brandon
Gus
Harris.
offense perfectly.
Yes, thank you. And Gus,
Wait.
Gus didn't recruit the quarterbacks. He needed to run that offense like Nick Marshall and Cam Newton. That's it.
No.
That's it.
We need to hear Jack's his comment just now. If we're going to talk about Nick Marshall,
You're
we
bringing
have
up
to talk
Nick
about.
Marshall. I'm going to bring up Danny Etling. I wasn't
No,
gonna
you
say-
said Brandon
I meant
Harris.
To say Danny Etling. I meant to say Danny.
Ugh.
Etling.
Nick
Well,
Marshall
it
led
is-
his team to a national championship.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Thanks, Devin.
Oh, okay.
Devin.
I mean,
is
okay.
Team,
Up until
Devin's Team Sam.
up until
Yeah,
Coach O.
let's pretend like that national championship run wasn't a complete fucking like
It was
oopsie daisy. We made the
They
national
almost won the
championship.
national championship.
They almost won the bitch. It
I
was
mean,
no fluke at all.
God
They
loves
should've,
Auburn,
But it
and
was
doubt
that.
us
It was
again.
they were a thumb away from being also like
4
9-3.
Yeah, 2 loss, whatever. I
Bef-
mean, we did the same thing this year.
But if
I'm not here
I mean,
to argue
you know.
Auburn's luck.
if Joe Burrow, all right,
We're talking about Nick Marshall here.
so 2018 LSU at Auburn. Fun fact: the game was on my birthday, and I was there. It was
The
pretty
rain
awesome.
game. It rained, right? A
No,
lot.
no, it was the walk-off Cole Tracy game.
Oh, I'm thinking of.
I
I'm
was there
sorry.
too.
I'm thinking of 20. What was?
2017.
I'm thinking the year Nick Marshall won the national championship.
Oh,
beat
yeah,
them.
I'm saying
Wait,
2013.
I'm saying
13?
2018.
Yeah. Okay.
2018 in terms of Auburn LSU. Joe Burrow, that game was awesome. Whatever, best birthday ever. Whatever. So that
Wow.
Yikes!
if
Somebody had a bad birthday.
no, but honestly speaking, if LSU lost that game, there was a real case for Auburn being a bigger and better program than LSU at that point in time.
Yeah, but
That
we
was
had-
Yes.
so huge,
Yeah.
and it
I
will
can
never
see
get
that.
talked about. And they haven't won here since I've been born. I'll be 23 in 2
Right.
months.
Right.
But
Why? Wait. Why are we on how Auburn can't win and like the games are not supposed to?
I gave-
Devin,
I
we were
gave
talking
you-
about how good the quarterback room
You
is.
brought it up.
I gave
You
you
brought it up.
I
You
gave you a
started shitting on
compliment.
our
Shit,
quarterback.
That's
yeah,
your fault
and-
bringing up Nick Marshall, dude.
No,
Come
but
on
and
now.
that's I truly like. And then you look at Auburn now. Gus Malzahn, like surely he was going to disappoint a little bit, but he was such a maniac that
Right.
he beat Saban 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
find me one other coach in the SEC that's beat him twice.
I know that is impressive for
Like-
him. I mean, but as far as like the program, like looking at LSU and Auburn on the field, like look at the athletes, look at the guys LSU's putting out. And I know it's different with their
Oh yeah,
recruiting
now
graces,
it's
but and, like, but
Right.
LSU has they've always had more swagger than Auburn. Auburn never walked out like you were like. No, I mean, we had times where we had swagger, but there was also times, especially the last few years with Gus Malzahn, where we were like we weren't as athletic, we didn't have the guys, and like we knew it, and we had to do this trickeration candies.
If you
Right.
don't like trickeration,
Yes.
why did y'all hire Brian Harsin? That's all he's run for 10 years.
Yeah, but
Well-
I love trickeration. I love trickeration, but it's the same eye candy for 8 years.
But does it worry you though that
Okay,
he said
I
the
get that.
Boise State way at Auburn though? Like he was
Dude,
he
I don't
regressed
care.
Boise.
I'm ready for this dude to come in here and put weight, make our guys work out and live. And
I'm just
pushing
concerned
people
about
around.
the offensive style. I
Yeah.
think that you're going to be putting a guy under center that doesn't need to be under center.
Bo
and-
Nix.
Yes.
I mean, what are we going to do about that? Gus Malzahn, we're
I
putting
think
there.
I think Gus Malzahn's philosophy was different than like even like Jake Peets. If you look at it, like it's a different style. You got a guy that's not under center, but Gus Malzahn was just doing all kinds of crazy
Listen,
stuff with that.
What we're gonna do, I think, as an Auburn fan, I've watched a little bit of Boise State film, and like I'm not like some sort of football coach or guru or anything, but I've seen what they do. They love to run like the stretch zone. You know how like the 49ers will run that zone where the guy busts it, you know, he takes off. We're gonna try to do a ton of that with Tank, and
Monster.
then get and
I think that's your shot.
Yeah,
right
see,
there.
I don't love that actually.
I don't love it
I
either.
love getting him
Yeah.
north and south.
But the thing is, we don't have the offensive line, I don't
Yeah.
think, to
Mm.
block like we need to block. So he's going to have to take these holes that he sees. But at the same time, like, again, we don't have the athletes to compete up. Like Devin White and how many other linebackers have y'all had that run 4.5s back and forth, 4.4s, you know,
Yeah.
at
Do you want me
200
to list them all?
pounds?
I will.
No.
White's 245 even.
Gian
It's-
Jones.
But that's what I'm saying. So they're going to try to
Kendall
stretch the
Beckwith.
field. We'll see if it goes. But he has developed quarterbacks. I mean, he's developed the OC for the Cowboys. Come on,
Kellen Moore.
thank you. He has the kid now at Boise State. He's got a funky name.
Kellen Moore played for Brian Harsin.
Kellen Moore, Harsin was the
was
OC,
the OC.
while
Okay.
he
Listen, all right. This is the first year. I'm gonna lie to myself. We might get our teeth kicked in, but like,
It's not Harsin's fault this year.
At least I want to see like a push on our team where we're fighting. You know, like with you guys in that Florida game, y'all could have rolled over in that Florida game.
I think
you could have quit.
I think Sam Harsin is a good enough coach for that part. I just don't think he's a good enough X's and O's coach that's going to be able to get you guys to the right place.
Yeah, and we got Mike Bobo from South Carolina, and it's like, okay,
Thank God you got Demetrius Robinson from Georgia.
I mean,
you didn't have any wide receivers.
Yeah, but even he is like, there's a reason he's not at Georgia anymore.
Well, I know, but he's going to start for Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, look at all right.
Yeah, but Georgia's got a lot of talent.
Oh, they do, but I'm saying Auburn's wide receiver.
I'm not worried about wide receiver though. I'm not worried about
Seth Williams should have come back.
He should have, but yeah,
Seth Williams should have gone in the second round in the NFL draft. He's
probably third, but yeah,
Seth Williams is really good.
Like that was such a steal for the Broncos.
I thought so too.
Well, I feel like you're now going to be stuck with
Broncos. Have so
they're going to key on. They're going to key on Tank for you guys
exactly.
And you're going to be stuck with Bo trying to hit a wide receiver that might not have.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
And we're going to try to create turnovers. We got to get Auburn has to get the turnover.
Which that kid Donovan Kaufman from Rummel.
For sure.
I've been pounding. I was pounding the table.
Stud, bro.
I was pounding the table for LSU to offer him. Yep. And there's nothing against Major Burns. I think he has good range and everything, but I think just in terms of what the safety room kind of needs right now, which I guess now looking at Sage Ryan, what he'll bring to the table, maybe not. But Donovan Kaufman is Billy Embody once compared him to
we'll get Billy.
He once compared him to Tyrann Mathieu, and he's like, it's not a ridiculous comparison. And he's like, don't think I'm not saying he's as good as him, is what he said.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's a stylistic comparison. It's like,
sure,
look what he does. Last year in the SEC, he led the country in kick return yards before he got hurt. He was going to be a first team all defense in the SEC. I mean, the kids that alone is Auburn's.
We heard about him. That was when Gabe Fertitta was on.
I saw him play in high school, and
we mentioned this to Gabe Fertitta.
He single-handedly beat Catholic High in the state championship.
He kicked to him. And he knew
Gabe was going to.
He was calling a squib kick. They kicked it deep.
Yeah, he didn't
miss call.
He was talking to a ref or something.
Yes,
and he didn't get the call in time before the kick went off.
Kicked
and
to
he said and Gabe said right when it went off, he was like,
"Oh shit."
Yeah, so that's the kind of kid he is. Like coaches don't even want to kick at him.
No, they shouldn't.
You can move him wherever you want on your defense. You want to drop him 30 yards in coverage, whatever. You want him to get 5 sacks on the year, he'll do it.
Right.
And it's just like Auburn. If Auburn's looking to create turnovers next year, it's going to be centralized around him and hoping that they just keep that defensive line standard up. I'm not even sure what their bodies are.
Is that the first big game for us, or is it Florida?
That's the first one.
Auburn is the first.
I think so.
First game of October.
Y'all have another. Let me double check.
Yeah, check that.
I think
LSU, obviously LSU. I mean, I'm sorry, UCLA.
UCLA.
Yeah. Right.
UCLA.
I mean, you aren't even having that as a big game.
Not at all.
I don't.
Really?
That's LSU.
I'm not worried about them winning that game, but like that's a huge game. Primetime in LA, you're about to smash on national television.
It gives me like butterflies about that game because I just don't know what UCLA is.
They have Chip Kelly.
Yeah,
Thompson Robinson's fun.
DTR is DTR is really good.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, they do have that quarterback, don't they?
It's not like he's not efficient though. He'll make a couple highlights and then he'll make a couple mistakes.
Yeah,
I mean, he is older.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you have a guy like that, it's like, do you get him on the wrong day?
Yeah,
and we also don't know what our defense is.
Yeah, if it's Bo Pelini again, then it's a nightmare no matter who. But like
UCLA beats us if Bo Pelini is still our defense coordinator. I'll go ahead and say that
they might. We'd catch them the wrong time.
Honestly, like I've said it before.
It would be very similar to the
51.
It would be very similar to the Ole Miss game.
Yes,
I've said it before though. Who fields a good defense with last year's roster?
Yeah.
Dave
last year's roster,
Dave Aranda does.
Yeah, no. But I don't know if it's necessarily the roster as it is like the communication of what you're supposed to be doing. Nobody knew how to cover a wheel route against Mississippi State.
And I really think if you look at really the first, I would say 3 losses, but Auburn, Mississippi State, Missouri, I would only put the Mississippi State game on Bo Pelini.
Well, y'all have the revenge game with Mississippi State, like Andrew
Not-
just said.
not on Missouri?
Right.
The
Missouri for sure.
That was
I mean-
the safeties. That was on them. I mean, they have to know their.
You're saying like
the
they
players got to know their assignments a little bit.
well, here's the thing. I when I say
Yeah,
it's
but
on
somebody
Bo
has to teach
Pelini,
it to him too.
well,
Corey
hold
Raymond's
on.
still there.
But that's the
I
same
know,
guy
whoa,
that
whoa, whoa,
made
guys, we're
plays.
living
No, no,
so
no.
far in the
I
past.
think this is perfect.
I already
This
yelled
is a
about
great
Justin
But that's
conversation.
Todd
done.
Harris.
This
Yeah,
is a
but
great.
Todd Harris
yeah.
made plays in the
Don't
past.
say anything about
Um,
Todd Harris. All right.
Asking
So
for
here's a
trouble.
few things. I think it's not just the communication between coaches and players. I think there was a complete disconnect,
Yeah,
like personally and everything, not only between Pelini and the players, but also between Pelini and Raymond. And I think there was something between Pelini and Raymond was basically going to his DBs going,
I'll throw Bill Bush.
guess
in there,
what?
too.
Yep, Bill Bush too. And I think Raymond and Bill Bush had an issue last year too.
I know a specific someone that was on last year's team that I've heard them say that they
TH is
hated,
his initials.
hated Bill Bush.
Uh-huh.
Nope, JS number 7.
Okay.
Wow.
Not a Bill Bush fan.
I completely forgot.
I could see that. And there was something about Pelini coming in that just incited all of this. And there was a huge disconnect, I know, between Pelini and Raymond to where, a safety not doing what he's supposed to be doing. I can't tell you if it's
Bush,
because
Raymond,
this,
Pelini, yeah.
or just the player just said, you know what? I'm not going to do it the way they're saying it.
But what I'll say about that is, you had like Nudie McGlothern went in there, no experience, didn't even get an off season, and
Right.
he was fine. He wasn't having those.
Yeah,
breakdowns.
I agree.
He
There
wasn't
was-
having those breakdowns that fourth-year seniors were.
Right.
He has a
later
great
in the year.
name.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an incredible
And-
name. You can't go wrong when your name's whatever that is.
Nudie. Well, Dwight. Dwight
Yeah.
is his first name, so you're going to have to change it to something.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell names the kid Dwight these days?
the Schrutes.
The Schrutes do.
The Howards.
Fact.
The Howards do.
Yeah.
The
Well,
revenge.
they're not doing great either.
So UCLA smash, right?
Dude,
I
I
mean,
think that's a smash.
14,
I'm on
17.
smash.
17. Okay.
14, 17-ish.
Yeah,
So
I think
it's
so,
4.5 right now. I say we say one
anything-
team betting says
A-
smash.
if
anything
you guys
single
wanna-
digits, funnel it. Just
Yeah, if y'all
Yeah.
want to start like a Venmo,
All
like, we
the
can
losses
pull it.
go towards Devin and his internship money. So
Mm-hmm.
just be wary of that. So if y'all want to put the money down, you can.
And then Central Michigan, and then we have
Is it Central Michigan or is it Miss McNeese first?
McNeese, Central
McNeese,
Michigan,
Central Michigan.
revenge game,
And
revenge
then
game. I mean,
Revenge game.
Mississippi State.
Okay, Mississippi State's the
This
first
kind of
SEC.
brings
It's at
us a
Mississippi
full
State, too.
circle at Mississippi State. I mean, these
I'm
guys
telling you.
they just got whooped last year
That's
by
not
these
a fun
guys,
game.
right?
That's
But
not a
we're
fun
gonna
game at all.
we're gonna crush Mississippi State.
Oh,
That's not
yeah.
a fun game.
No,
It's really not.
It's
I have
Dude,
no
yeah.
faith in control in destroying Mississippi State because
neither.
Zach Arnett is who I wanted a defensive coordinator.
That's exactly
when
what I was gonna say.
When Aranda left, that's who I wanted. I
Yep.
was screaming for Arnett. He is imagine like last year he didn't have players and their scheme was good. It was like Barry Odom at Arkansas, and
well, was it good all season? I didn't look at all the stats, but I know
For-
what happened in our game. But like,
Mississippi
They were
State,
good against us. I mean,
yeah, I mean
they only gave up. They only gave
They're-
up 27 points on defense.
their
I know.
defense was a lot like
just
LSU.
remembering what we did also.
Mississippi
Right.
State's defense last year was a
we
lot
couldn't
like
run the ball.
no, not at all. They were a lot like
Our offensive line.
But
They gave
my,
our
my
offensive
question
line
on that
fucking
game
hell.
has always been, and even on defensively, like what did they do after they played us?
oh yeah.
Like how bad were we on defense when and I know the answer to that one, but the offensively, I don't remember how good their defense was in other games other than ours.
So their defense was a lot like the LSU defense in the Auburn game last year, and that's one I don't put on Bo Pelini at all. That defense broke their back for the first half
Yes.
until the offense let them down,
Correct.
and
Yeah, fair.
like
No, they did,
No, that's true.
especially
That's
for the
true.
first half, and then it was just over.
yeah.
after that
Oh,
point.
one
When it was over, everybody knew it was over, and they quit.
You're
That's the
you're
Gus Malzahn offense.
you're sitting there. You're sitting there in
Sneak up behind you.
You're sitting there in
That's-
Jordan Hare
the
Stadium
Boise way.
at 98 degrees, right when the sunlight's coming down on you, and
Yeah, they
the-
quit.
the defense is sitting on the sideline. The offense had like 4 first downs the whole game.
No, they straight up in the second half. They straight up quit.
Quit.
That was the game where it was like the next game was Florida, right?
No.
The next game was
South Carolina. And
South
then we
Carolina.
had Florida.
No, South Carolina was the week before Auburn.
Yeah.
Florida
that was
was
TJ
in
Finley's
November.
first game. Then
Yeah.
it was Auburn. We got blown out. Then
What
we
was
had
after
3
Auburn?
weeks off for COVID.
Oh.
And then we played Arkansas.
Yep.
Oh,
And then
gotcha,
we,
gotcha.
Got
There you
blown
go.
out by
There you go.
Bama, Florida.
Yep.
the
Yep.
rest. Wait, that's not right.
Last year sucked.
Oh, I missed Texas A&M was in there too somewhere.
No.
After
that makes
Arkansas.
sense. That's right.
Yeah, it was after Arkansas.
Yeah. So the
Right
last
before-
two games were Florida and
Ole
Ole
Miss.
Miss, obviously. Okay.
It
The
went
next week after Mississippi State played you guys, like we lived this in real time.
Kentucky,
but I just love
right?
to go back.
They
No,
threw a million picks.
they played Arkansas. They got beat 21-14.
KJ Costello lost his job immediately
How-
after throwing 600 yards.
like to
Oh,
Will
wait.
Rogers. right?
Here's a question: how did TJ Finley stay in the starting lineup after the Auburn game?
No
I
clue.
think what I saw watching
Well, they opened up the
from-
battle. You remember?
They
And
did,
then,
but
and then he won it going into the Arkansas game. Max was supposed to like get in for some snaps if TJ was struggling.
Oh,
But TJ
yeah,
but
played-
TJ
right.
played okay.
TJ played
He
just good enough to stay
right.
in.
And he kind of clutched up against Arkansas. Really,
for-
like,
he-
he had some mistakes in
He
that
threw a
game.
game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, and it's like it was like he was out there struggling a little bit, but with the game on the line, he won the game. So it's like I don't think he's a great quarterback, but he did his job that day for sure.
Goodness, look at
And-
you.
I don't like bees, bro.
God, you pussy.
I am a pussy.
If-
When it comes to bees,
I really believe if
Not a fan.
if you put TJ Finley in the Mac Jones role last year, he's nowhere near as good as Mac Jones, but he produces and they're a damn good offense.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
I agree.
Behind that offensive
It's just
line,
not as
Hell, let me
accurate,
throw it.
but yeah, that's the thing that he needs to work on, in my opinion. If you
Yeah.
put him in a pro style offense like that, he should be able to roll. I just don't think that he's going to be great in a. I don't think you need to put him under center ever.
no, what I see TJ Finley as is a person behind Bo Nix that makes Bo Nix think. Because if I felt like Bo Nix was entitled to the Auburn job initially when he got there,
Yeah.
TJ Finley I don't ever see getting this job. I see him getting
I
passed
think
by
it's-
Demetrius Davis whenever Bo Nix leaves, and
Whoa.
Finley never starts a game in Auburn full time.
Do you agree with that?
So-
Never starts game one in Auburn.
I'll tell you,
Ever.
last year
And
I went.
hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong and he wins a Heisman and I can shove it in your face.
I guess 2
I'll
years
shove it in
ago.
your face.
It was-
I'll throw
it
this clip back at you.
It was 2 years ago. I went to Lake Travis High School against Katy North Shore state
Oh, that's a-
semifinal.
Rocking.
It's
Oh.
a huge game. Hudson Card, the Texas quarterback, was Lake Travis quarterback. Demetrius
We had
Davis
like
was the quarterback.
10,000 people at this game.
15 probably. And then North Shore
High school
had
game.
Demetrius Davis as their quarterback. Zach Evans, that badass running back who ended up at TCU,
Yeah.
he took the ACT that day on Saturday, showed up at the semifinal. He walked out with like
Get a
10
drink.
seconds left in the second half, didn't stretch. They put him in for a game or for a snap,
truly.
ran a little read option,
Yeah, I'll take one too.
and Demetrius flew by him. You're 100% right. Demetrius is going to smoke him in that competition. He is so fun to watch. And he's pretty accurate for a high schooler when I watched him.
I mean, we also got to remember though that TJ did everything that he did. In his fourth game ever being in a college
Right.
uniform with no offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he,
But-
and he looked good, right?
To be fair, though, he completed under 50% of his passes his senior year of high school.
Yeah, but I mean, if
Well,
you
it's
look
wide receivers.
look
I
at-
mean,
right, I mean, and one of his wide receivers is actually his brother Cody Finley, who's a damn good player himself.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's
I
think he's
think-
like a 3-star or something.
I
Like,
wanted
I mean,
to get to
that's,
this.
that's a
he's at the very least a really good athlete.
yeah, Division
um,
One football player.
Yeah, right.
I wanted to get
Um,
to this earlier. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
Go
just be like the kind of
thanks, sir.
Devin. What you were talking about earlier would be the no, man. I'm not thirsty. Thanks though. No, it's all good. I'll get one. The quarterback room, the best quarterback room in the SEC right now is no. I mean, is it LSU or is it Alabama?
So-
The
I'm
best
sorry, say it
quarterback.
again.
I'm sorry. The best quarterback room in the SEC right now is it LSU or is it Alabama? Because Auburn is a significant
Alabama.
step behind. I mean, like in
Well, who are the other
Florida-
Alabama guys?
Well,
I don't know, probably a
They
5-star.
Well, it's going to be
first guy is the number one quarterback out of high school,
And
so
the-
like,
the
that
other one-
right there.
And he
Yeah,
has
they
2
went.
years.
hello.
Huh?
He has 2
He's
years.
2 years at least, right?
Ty,
Or what?
Ty
Yeah,
Simpson's
it's 2
not a
years,
bad
right.
quarterback either. He's coming in the same class as Walker.
Right.
Who's that?
Ty
Ty
Simpson.
Simpson.
He's the
Oh,
top
that's
5
right, that's
quarterback
right.
in the
And
class.
I would say he's clearly a step. Like,
He's the only guy that's.
He reminds
above
me of Jake
Walker
Fromm.
Howard, I believe.
he reminds me a lot of Jake Fromm.
Okay.
Hello.
That's pretty good.
That'll be her
That's a pretty good player.
sign. Ellie, Deaf Ellie, the boxer, the OTOP mascot is making an appearance.
I thought I
And
was
we're
the
gonna-
OTOP mascot.
No, not you. It's Ellie.
Nope.
This beautiful white boxer. So before we don't really have segments tonight. It's the off season. We're just going to talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
before we get going on
Thanks
that,
for joining.
big shout out to Bocock Brothers Cigars. I'm smoking a Bocock Brother. This is a Maduro that we're smoking right now. So we appreciate those guys. They're in Las Vegas right now at a cigar convention. So when they get back, they're about to unveil their golf line. So Bocock Brothers is starting a golf line. They have hats and they have polos. They have all kinds of stuff. So we're going to be talking to them about that soon. Also, big shout out, Mr. Fun's Travel. So we were talking about the UCLA game.
Mm-hmm.
They have all the trips ready for you. Call Jason over at Mr. Fun's Travel. They have hotels, all inclusive. Everything's there.
Do we know what other trips they're doing this year?
Not yet. I'll get with him. We'll
Okay.
figure out what the other away. He always does an away game.
Sure.
Outside, like 2 usually.
Yeah.
Bogies
thinking
in
about Lexington.
Baton Rouge. Shout out to Bogies. We're gonna make a
Circle.
plan for Bogies here soon.
I'll be in Lexington.
But give Clayton over there at Bogies. He is
Right
man.
there.
Sam is working on. He's working the screens here. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
What's Jude
It's
doing?
not easy,
Jude!
right? No,
Jude!
no. But it's not easy. Can we all agree to that? All right, on the spot. It was used to be me doing
This
all
part's
this.
easy.
Yes. So
The part Sam's doing is easy.
Bogies. We appreciate Bogies. Those guys are being great with us. We appreciate all they're doing for us. All right, so I guess we need to move over to our segments of the week, right? So
Sure, let's do it.
let's do the Moxie of the week first.
Who's it?
Our Moxie of the Week award this week is
Big time Moxie guy.
Dustin
Poirier. He had the huge win over Conor McGregor. This is the third fight. I guess we're gonna have 4 fights now.
No, probably not.
I think they're gonna go to 4.
No, he's not.
Diaz
He's not
3
doing
will
I thought
happen
they-
first.
Poirier-
Okay.
Poirier
Ooh.
needs a title shot. Let's be real. Poirier,
Yeah.
he does not deserve to fight McGregor again.
What's
he
that fella's name? The guy who's champ right now?
There's like an interim, isn't it not? Or is it
Was he an interim?
Yeah, Oliveira.
Yeah.
Oliveira's the champ right now.
Oh, he's an interim champ.
I agree that
No, I
Poirier,
think he's the
Poirier
champ,
deserves
isn't he?
bigger.
Yeah, he deserves bigger.
He
but-
deserves bigger, but Connor doesn't deserve to like lose it based off his leg snapping. He was losing the fight at the time, but
yeah.
it was clear he was better than the
that
last
fight.
time.
That fight. Oh, I don't agree. I think that fight was going exactly the same way the first fight was going.
Think so?
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I think so, too.
Connor looked a little quicker, but then right when it went to the floor, he looked exactly the same as he did back in
Right.
January.
The picture that we have up on the screen right now too is the one that
Where he's
Dustin
pointing at
is
him.
pointing at,
And
at
sure, maybe
McGregor after
that's-
he had kicked him.
Maybe that's
So-
why McGregor slowed down because his
He
leg was
knew,
snapped.
yeah. So and Poirier said that he knew
Yeah.
right when he kicked him that he felt it, that
felt it
something
correct.
happened, and he pointed at him, and that was the picture that I pulled up on
Big
that one.
time Moxie guy.
That is some extreme moxie right there, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to feel somebody kicking you and you feel their leg break, and then you're like, "I fucking got you, motherfucker."
Fuck you. Yeah.
Well, he
That's
caught him
some moxie.
on that kick. So McGregor throws the kick, right? Trying to get the calf.
Yep.
He kicks him in the knee as Poirier's moving back. And he caught him with his toes. So Poirier steps back. McGregor catches him with his toes, and I think maybe it's like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you get the toes on it, and then it gets a little break, and he was like, "Oh, you feel that?" You know, that's what gives him the point.
Dude, and I was like pretty far away from the TV watching the fight, and so I didn't see it snap live, and so I just thought the round ended.
No, I didn't either. I thought Poirier knocked him down, and I was like, McGregor, get up, knock this guy out in the second round.
because the round ended like 3 seconds later.
Oh,
He
gotcha.
went down at the
And
10.
so-
10 seconds left. He goes. They throw punches.
Uh-huh.
Right when they get up, McGregor goes down, breaks his ankle or breaks his leg as he's
Right.
going down. But watching it live, it looked like Poirier
Just
knocked
knocked him down.
right with the punch again.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, a guy. First of all, McGregor falling down, breaking his ankle, and then Joe Rogan with a mic in his face,
Getting
and he's
right
like
up to him.
pubbing the next fight while his leg is sitting there with a broken ankle.
The
Oh, yeah.
greatest.
That's some moxie, also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conor McGregor is the best troll of this generation.
Conor McGregor is maybe the Moxie of the century.
The
guy.
best troll of the generation, other than Skip Bayless.
Oh, Skip Bayless for sure.
Oh, Skip Bayless. Quick here. I won't put much time on it. Remember a couple years ago, Richard Sherman told Skip he was
Big
better at
time
life than him.
Moxie guy.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
I do remember that.
Turn into
Big
Undisputed
time
tomorrow.
Moxie guy.
Undisputed tomorrow is going to have Skip Bayless going in on Richard Sherman.
For sure.
For the
So, what are the two things that Richard Sherman did? So, I know the hit and run. I saw that
Big
one
time
today.
Moxie
Was there something
guy.
before that?
he
Like he was in trouble twice, right?
So Richard Sherman, they released the police dispatch, which that dispatcher over in Seattle needs to be fired from her job. She was like, "You're supposed to de-escalate the situation." What a shitty job she did.
I don't know what
She was
this
terrible.
Was
I
this
didn't-
for the hit and run or was it? For
This is
something
all the stuff for last night.
I didn't see anything.
So Sherman came back to like the family residence of his wife, and
Okay.
it is his wife. She tweeted, "We are still married. How about you get the reporting right," or something like that.
else? Okay.
And apparently Sherman was drunk. He was talking about how he's considering hanging himself, like a bunch of sad stuff, and about how he's going to take his own life, like all this stuff. He was
Mhm.
drunk. Then
Let's put
he-
Fireball.
it came out on the
Not good for the back,
dispatch that he had a whole bottle of vodka and a whole bottle of Hennessy.
Mm.
And then he
Lethal
tried to get in a
lethal
physical,
combo.
like a physical encounter with his wife's uncle. And then it all went downhill from there. And then they found the car that he had just left in a parking lot because, I mean, it was clear he was hammered, and fleeing the scene charge is probably better than a DUI. So at least he thought of that in the moment.
But then he crashes into a concrete pole,
Yeah.
and now he's charged with a hit and run because he crashed into a concrete pole and then left that scene and didn't call the authorities that he crashed into a public pole.
Worse of that.
And that's a felony, by the way.
Yeah, and worst part about it, it was a
You know that from
state.
experience.
It was
huh?
That's a felony, motherfucker.
It was a state
Hey,
building
boy,
in which
boy.
he hit too. State
What-
property.
What's up, Jude?
I guess
Dude.
you could call him a down cornerback.
Oh, hey. Turn Jude off. Turn Jude off.
I kind of want to leave
that
that
was-
on though.
That was inappropriate. That was inappropriate.
He's a
This is a serious situation, Jude.
Yeah, no.
he's a cover
Respect
three,
the gravity.
cover
of this.
3 merchant.
Cover 3.
I mean, do we want to get into
So-
Stephen A? We talked about Skip. Are we going to do Stephen A?
yes, because
Shohei.
Sherman was apparently on the Saints' radar as a free agent, by the way.
Well,
And
I
then-
got an
that's
update
done.
on my phone, and I glance. I see it says Richard Sherman. I was like, oh, the Saints signed him.
That's you didn't know.
No.
You didn't even read it.
No, I glanced. I was like,
You were just like,
yes. Yeah, I was like, oh, Richard
Oh.
Sherman. I was like, oh, the Saints got him. I got to read this story. It's like, gets arrested. I was like, oh, never mind.
Am-
Don't
Yes.
care.
Oh, never mind. He signed with the
Yes.
Cowboys.
Am I the only
Pretty
non-Saints
much.
fan here?
Yes. What? Are you a Saints fan, Sam?
Yeah, I love the Saints. Who that, baby?
Who-
Let's
no,
go.
no. Is that your team?
Jameis, baby. Jameis,
Yeah, I mean, he's
Taysom
from
all
Alabama.
day.
But if
No,
you're from Alabama,
my roommates, my Jack and Charlie love those guys. They're from Mobile. Jack, especially, big Saints fan, and I went to a Saints-Panthers game in Carolina in 2018. Cam was a quarterback, wearing a Greg Olsen jersey. Drew Brees was dropping dimes. I was like, I got to go for this.
Okay.
team.
That was the game
Okay.
that
It's electric. I mean,
it was
they're
a
so
night.
fun.
It was a Monday Night Football game, wasn't it?
No. It was a day
No?
game. The Saints
Okay.
smashed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
So
they got a
you're-
pick six.
you're the only one on One Team One podcast on our payroll and all that is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Fucking
I have been, and the thing is, I'm
I
not a
never
Brady
thought I would
fan.
hate the Bucks.
I'm
You're not a Brady. Okay,
like,
but you are now.
Yeah, like I didn't grow up like a Brady fan that followed him. Like I've truly been. I can pull up the picture on my phone right here. I've been a Tampa fan since I was that tall.
Yeah, we had
actually-
it. We had it on for
remember
the
the picture?
the Brad
Yeah,
Johnson.
we showed it to Brad
uh,
Johnson.
yeah.
The Brad Johnson. We showed it on the screen while Brad was on the thing, saying, "Hey, one of our interns is a big
Big Bad
time
Brad.
Tampa Bay Bucks fan." So
And I actually had Max was on his visit. It was Coach O, Coach E, Max, Brad, and Joe Burrow. And
Not bad.
so they're all sitting there at the LSU Auburn basketball game where Jared Harper, the best point guard I've ever seen
Goes
in the
crazy.
SEC. Hey, LSU, yeah, right there.
Got an Auburn guy running the audio here.
That LSU won the SEC that year, but man, that Auburn team was the best team in the SEC other than 38-1 Kentucky team.
He was only there 1 year, right?
Jared Harper. 2, right?
2?
I think it was 2.
I'm pretty sure he was there for like
He left
5.
He left way too early.
It was
No,
more
no,
than
no,
it was
no,
more
he-
than 1.
Or was he a
I think
JUCO
he-
guy?
No, he was
I
a
think-
junior. It was 3.
I remember being
I'm
sick.
pretty
Pretty sure
okay.
he came and did the whole thing. Like
Man,
did
that
it,
guy.
like
Yeah.
was bad, and then was just fast.
And now he's in
had
the
his-
D League, and I'm like, how did this guy not?
He
small.
was the most
So
badass.
small.
Bryce Brown was awesome.
Uh-huh.
Brown was a stud.
Samir Dowdy.
What are
LSU
y'all
won that
doing?
game,
Why are y'all
though, right?
setting me up? Why are y'all?
But that was
talking-
the
we
year.
won.
That was the year
Why
though
y'all-
that they
yeah.
went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And-
Should have won that game too.
Yep.
Guys, why are y'all
Fuck
doing
that.
this to me? What are you doing here?
Okay,
Stop
hey,
it.
hey,
I
hey,
was
hey.
there. I watched it.
I had.
You were there?
No.
I know, but
I was behind TV.
I took
Same
UV.
thing.
I took UVA plus
a curse?
1,800 to win it all in the middle of January that year. I was not too mad. That was because it was obvious. It was like they lost to UMBC. Like I've seen movies before. They're gonna win it all. Like-
we need to go over bets for. We have the British Open coming up. Huge story coming up with the British Open. That's my favorite tournament. We were talking about that before we came on too.
Yeah.
That's my favorite tournament of all the tournaments, and it's because it's
Why?
a link style course. Like you'll see like 20. Hopefully, I want to see 20-mile-an-hour winds or whatever it is.
It will be.
Like I want to see that, and I want to see guys having to hit like low irons into the wind to roll a ball up onto the green. That's the kind of stuff I love. I love link style.
Yeah.
Remember when we played at Kiva Dunes and it was link style, and I actually loved that. Like it was something about it that I just like. I think it was about even the course style. I loved it more than anything else.
Sure.
we played.
I mean,
special.
that was more of like an American links.
Well,
style.
yeah, absolutely, but not necessarily for like British Open.
Right.
Next spring, I'm actually going to go check out Erin Hills and see some.
Okay, so
Oh,
that'll be
that's-
it's Wisconsin,
That's in Wisconsin.
right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I've been wanting to go there.
Great.
Actually.
It looks incredible. And
U.S. Open was very entertaining. That was the first Brooks major that he won, right? I think that was his first major he ever won.
Yeah, what was that?
It
Like
was.
2015.
Yeah, but that was such a long course, and he was just dominated.
Yes,
it.
it was
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
No, 16.
It was 2015. It was 15 or 16.
It was on Fox 44. That's all I can
16,
tell you.
16 because Spieth won it. Spieth won at Chambers Bay in
Shout out.
15, and my dad lives in Seattle, only about 20 minutes from Chambers Bay. And next time I go up there, I'm going to play that. I was going to play in it.
Chambers Bay would be fantastic.
Yeah,
What do you think about? Okay,
I signed up for an amateur to play at Chambers last year.
I'm not hearing you right now. By the way,
Yeah, you're.
so now that he's muted, the what did you think about the match in that course in Montana with all the elevation?
So my Twitter handle is just my name, whatever. But you can go to the header. It's literally Bryson's ball tracker on that 774 hole.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh, you have it as that. Okay.
oh, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
it's just the flight tracker. Because I mean, Bryson, the moment he hit that, he hated it because he knew it wasn't going 550.
Yes.
And it's like he knew he was getting 550 out of that thing if it went right where he wanted.
right.
So that fact, it's like Bryson hit that. They took Bryson DeChambeau to Montana and put it at minus 160 odds. That makes no sense.
So that's why you were grabbing him because
No.
of the elevation.
yeah, absolutely. I'll take the long hitters because Rogers is a way better golfer than Brady.
Right.
And, like he's played pro-ams.
He had
Rogers,
plenty of them. Yeah.
If Rogers played golf consistently and wouldn't have to worry about football or Hawaii or
I
whatever.
was thinking about Romo same way. If
Yeah.
he would have
Oh, Romo's way better than those guys. Too.
yeah, if he would have stick to golf and like just quit football,
Yeah.
he'd be on the PGA Tour right now.
100%. And Romo is
What?
No, he would be. No, he
He's
would
still
be.
out, by the way. His volume's still out.
Romo.
This guy.
I know. I know.
There you are,
it's
there you
out.
are,
Tony
there you go.
Romo on the PGA Tour.
100%.
All right.
If he
No,
no,
he's
I'm
really
saying
good.
if
Going
he
If
back
he
down.
didn't play football,
if he didn't play football.
And only focus on golf. Since,
This,
since
this,
a kid.
easily.
this is
Easily.
kind of like
Okay.
wait.
Easily.
Yeah.
He almost made the U.S. So he
This
almost
is like
qualified for the US
okay.
Open.
This is my conversation I had last week. Say Bo Jackson never played football and just played hockey. He grew up in Canada.
Okay.
He'd be the best hockey player in the world ever of
I-
all time, right?
Yeah.
That's a bad question for him being an Auburn guy.
Me,
that's why
Let's
I
use
said it.
Herschel Walker for
That's
example.
why I said it. Yeah.
yeah, no, I took that as if he just like made it to the NFL, starts playing golf, makes a PGA.
No. Not both at the same time.
If
Those
that was
guys
his
are playing
sport.
hard.
That's why I have myself muted.
Which,
Okay.
That's the thing. That's one
Get the
of
fuck out of here.
like you look at all the celebrities that play golf. Like Rogers is about a 4-ish handicap. So I mean, not 8 out of 10 days he's going to break 80.
You think Rodgers is staying at Green Bay?
For this year.
You think so?
I think he's gonna
my-
be a saint, boys.
100%.
A saint?
He's saying in
Y'all,
Green Bay.
y'all are really going to hate me after this one. But Tommy's going to go. He's going to repeat it. The Bucks have the most cap space, second most cap space in the NFL next year.
everybody
I see where you're
returning.
going with this now. That
Repeat,
isn't happening.
repeat, retire. Why wouldn't you want to live in Florida with the best roster?
So he's going to three-peat and retire.
He's gonna win this year.
Yes.
See ya. And
Okay.
Rodgers has an out in his deal this year. He can go
Just a
wherever he wants.
repeat, and
And it-
he's going to – okay, and then Rodgers is going to come back.
Rodgers.
Rodgers is
Tampa.
going to go to Tampa,
Wow.
and then
And then by that
you're
time,
going to three-peat.
And then by that time, Joe Burrow is going to be ready to come back from Cincinnati. He's
To
gonna
New
go-
Orleans.
No,
Well, y'all ain't
he's
even
gonna
gonna
go
win
to
the
Tampa.
division again.
No, if Joe's gonna ever leave Cincinnati, it's for New Orleans. And
Absolutely.
I 100%. The way this state embraced him, and I could live with that. I could
My
live
heart
with that.
just skipped a beat.
But no, when you think of it too, like it's really not crazy to say that about Aaron Rodgers if Brady
agree.
repeats and retires. Because look at Bruce Arian with older quarterbacks, Carson Palmer, MVP candidate, Brady, 40 touchdowns last year.
That's an insane
it's like-
take.
What about Joe? What about Joe Burrow going to Jacksonville to rejoin Urban Meyer?
So you can call him a noodle arm bitch again. I mean, that's what he told him that to his face.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah,
I'd say that was
motivation.
I'd say that was really good coaching.
Yeah.
I would.
So
Look at him now.
look at him now. Look at what I've done to help him.
I truly believe LSU's coaching staff deserves a lot more credit than Ohio State's for Joe Burrow and his development.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I agree with
like,
that. Joe,
almost-
to me,
it's almost
all right,
entirely Joe Brady.
to me, it's Joe Brady, DJ Mangus.
I think Coach E.
Big time.
I think Coach E did.
guy.
Coach E did a ton because he is a great quarterbacks coach.
I
It's like
just disagree with this.
really.
It's because of 2018 compared to 2019.
No,
I do agree with
you don't
Devin, though. I think Joe Insminger is a really good
quarterbacks coach. You don't want him calling your plays, but developing your quarterbacks. Oh
Sure.
hell yeah!
So you think maybe he took a step back and he was quarterback coach while
Oh.
maybe Brady is calling
Whenever
the
they
plays.
said 50-50 play calls, you can
You're
see him.
like, that's bullshit.
Coach E's just up there clapping. And like Joe Brady, you can see him on the GIF.
LSU
He's
fans were so defensive about that too. Like, no. Coach Insminger is the offensive
yeah,
coordinator.
it's like
Matt, we were too.
We were.
Yeah,
We took all the bait.
yeah, we
I
were
was-
all
We didn't have a
high.
podcast back
We-
then.
Yeah, true. Well,
That's-
we did, but
you did.
No, we didn't.
we did. We
Not
did.
during 2019.
Oh no! I'm talking about like after 2019.
Oh.
the 2020
Oh, well, we
offseason.
talked about this.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that was what gave me all this hope for 2020.
Yeah,
Right.
when y'all thought LSU was good.
And
It's
that
like, yeah,
wasn't-
but like Joe Brady wasn't doing anything basically.
And it should
yeah,
be,
it was Insminger was the guy. I mean,
it should be noted.
we were completely.
What do I care about a passing game coordinator? Or,
Right.
sorry, go ahead, Devin.
It should be noted when LSU lost all those guys to the draft. Once we officially knew everyone that was gone,
Yeah.
we still lost 5 or 6 more guys that were crucial pieces to that team for last year.
Sure.
And people don't want to like everybody had opt outs, well except Bama. And then
My problem was the roster management of the whole situation, which
Yeah, it's
was O's responsibility.
yeah, and Kerry Vincent is on blood thinners. That was something that came out. And it's like
Breaking news.
yeah, that was something that came out, and they said he was on blood thinners and all that and stuff. And it's like he needed to do it for his health. And I've never asked him that, but if that rumor is true, it's like I understand that for him. And it's like he's taking care of himself. Tyler Shelvin, I mean, he got drafted in the same spot he would have if he played, and so did Jamar. So I'm like,
yeah, for sure. Jamar is the one I can really understand.
yeah.
Like,
If he
dude,
would have played last year, he was an idiot. Like,
I just think that I think there was other
Okay.
things that came into it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just I can get drafted high no matter what. If that was the whole situation, then I would agree with it. But that wasn't the whole situation. It was
Right.
a lot of other stuff going on that just wasn't managed well by the coaching staff.
yeah.
You could have had Jamar Chase as your quarterback.
But I would
I mean,
still
as your
say,
wide receiver.
I would still say that that's a loser mentality
my thing with Jamar is
So
Jamar.
stupid. That's an inside joke.
If
I don't know if people get that on the podcast.
if Jamar would have taken a helmet to the knee or
Just
something last
swallow
year,
this. Yeah.
if he would have taken a helmet to the knee for that team, like what happens if Jamar takes a helmet to the knee?
I agree. I agree.
Injury.
At
What's the
Auburn.
difference? Okay, what's the difference? So one injury,
he would've
and
gone out
not
like a
playing
tiger.
a year. So like you would, you get injured, you still get drafted. Maybe he
Jesus.
loses a few spots. Yeah, don't play. All right, nah.
Well,
I mean, don't
he
play.
wouldn't have
but
been
my
with
thing
Joe.
is play. You're on
So
the team.
all right. Well, let's
At least he would have had his dignity.
God's sake.
let's go with a couple of things because this is a topic that we need to bring up. All right, let's go to the Foxie of the week. Okay?
Yeah,
Can we do that?
We'll get back to Jamar.
We're gonna get back to Jamar in just a second.
Foxy lady.
Foxie of the week. This is from you, Devin. So Candace Parker is now your 2022.
2K22.
2K 2020.
Yeah, they have 3 covers.
2K22.
Can she?
2K22.
Can she dunk in the video
2022.
game?
She probably. I don't know if she can dunk in the.
I don't know.
video game or not.
She's getting older now.
Wait, do they have women on these
Yeah.
video games?
Yeah.
Well,
They have WNBA?
They
It is
better.
actually really fun to play as the women, is what me and William learned one time.
Can
because,
anybody dunk?
Because like the women just like make everything that's open.
Can anybody dunk?
Can he, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I mean, like
Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner can dunk.
She can dunk.
There's probably
She's
some others.
6'9".
she plays in
Yeah, I
China.
don't know, but do they allow it in the game,
Yeah.
or is it
Yeah,
like
I've done it.
okay?
I've done it.
Moxie
Um,
of the week, Foxie of the week.
Foxie of the week is going to be Sylvia. I mean,
No,
Sylvia
Candace
Fowler.
Parker.
Candace
Candace.
Parker.
Nah, fuck Candace Parker.
Simone Augustus.
Simone Augustus is the Foxie. No, I said
Yeah, fuck you, Pat
Candace
Summitt.
Candace Parker for sure because of this, but I have a vitriol of Candace Parker, and this goes all the way back to LSU being really good at women's basketball, and I despised anybody from Tennessee. I despised Pat Summitt.
So no,
There were a lot of women's basketball fans that weren't just like the women that you think of that are at LSU women's basketball games. Back then, we had a big fan. There was a big fan base.
And
So
it's
when they
gonna
got
be
to the
back.
tournament, it was just like for real.
because
Like,
they were better than the men. They were the most consistent program that we had at the time.
yeah, like they would play
Yeah.
UConn and stuff, and
Well,
we would go crazy for it.
I have
maybe
kind of have a thought on the women's college basketball to the WNBA, right? So women's college basketball is LSU spirited, right? You're behind your team. You know, you love it because they're wearing the logo on the front, right? But then the WNBA, it's like nobody has an affinity to any of these WNBA teams. So like we don't grow an attachment to the teams, we don't grow an attachment to the girls, and then ESPN shoves it down our face that the WNBA is so fun. And it's not fun compared to the NBA. But I think women's college basketball has that sort of grassroots culture where they can develop it.
I wouldn't even say the NBA is too entertaining. It's going to be really good when they bring these FIBA rules back to it, and they start
agree.
playing some real basketball.
And they
start-
open up the lane a little bit more. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Is that part of it? Like
the-
they're gonna do the FIBA lane?
Mhm.
They're
You're
just
talking
not
about for
calling
the NBA?
shooting
No,
foul.
For
no,
college
they're not
basketball.
going. They're not going to do the FIBA lane. They're going to do the FIBA hand checking, the FIBA contact, no foul baiting. Like I was watching the USA Nigeria game. Damian Lillard was on the ground whining for fouls, just throwing the ball up, and he would look up, and next thing you know, Nigeria's on a break.
Yeah.
And it's like these guys. There are so many NBA players in today's day and age. It's like, are you good or you just get fouls in a
Man,
bullshit league?
can we just talk about that?
Yeah,
Like,
but okay.
Bradley Beal.
This could arguably have been an old man take of the week here. What Devin just said about
Which one?
foul baiting.
oh yes, for sure.
But here's
but
my thing.
It's not that one.
That's not what it is.
No.
I don't know. It's just like when you get somebody and you draw a foul, because some players are genuinely very talented at drawing fouls.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
James Harden, Damian Lillard.
I don't
you
like.
said.
I don't like that hard when he hooks you though. Like that's bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, but okay. But here's my thing. If you get somebody, if you you're stepping to the right or something, and a guy puts his hand over you, and then his hand's here, you got the ball here, and you shoot up.
Yeah.
The defender's in an illegal guarding position.
I feel like those guys are all
So that
great
should
at,
be a
like,
foul.
Which they'll call that, but like it's just when you like jump and you go and lean like the
You
tray.
lean
Okay,
in.
then
and
now
you're
I-
like, yeah.
I agree
Like,
with that.
That's like
I agree
like
with that.
truly drawing fouls is a skill, and they'll still reward you for that.
Sure.
But the foul baiting, the Trey Young BS, and it's just like he's.
They
gonna-
need to start finding harder for flopping.
Yeah. Oh, next all the rule changes that are coming next year. I mean, the NBA is going to be a new sport next year. These guys are going for a show.
I can't wait for that.
It's gonna be great.
I didn't know that was the case. Like they were changing the rules up a little
Yeah.
bit. I think that would be very interesting. But I do think that the NBA, like the Olympics, United States Olympics team, is in for some problems.
Rude awakening.
Yeah.
Very much.
I want him to go back to.
Get off my lawn.
Well, the old man take of the
It's
week.
the old man take of the week.
Well, the old man take of the week. We'll switch to that because it was that. But then we're gonna switch it also. Like the old man take of the week really was going to be about Jamar Chase versus Josh Reed.
Well, no, I thought. I think.
What?
I think that's an old man take of the week.
No, I mean that's
United States basketball is going to be in trouble.
all good with combining them, guys.
No, that is fine.
That's mine. That's my old man take of the week.
So I think the United States team, you look, even when Coach K was doing it, he kept the same kind of core together, 7-8 guys for multiple Olympics, and then he'd put in a couple bench fillers after that. The U.S. now, they go out there and play all-star basketball against a bunch of teams that have been playing together for 8 years. And
For
it's
sure.
like,
But some of these guys for Nigeria were like legit like bodies in the NBA.
They have 8 NBA players. Monte Morris was cooking Damian Lillard in the playoffs. He didn't even play in the
and why is
game.
Monte Morris on the Nigerian team? And I know the answers to these questions, but like that's just ridiculous.
He wants to play.
Yeah, no, but
I like Monte. My parents went to Iowa State.
Yes, but all the rules that make it eligible for this guy to be on the Nigerian national team, doesn't make any sense to me. But it's competitive basketball, so that's great.
So
but,
basically, what you're saying is the reason that the U.S. is going to struggle in the Olympics is because
the rules are bad.
No, it's because the U.S. the NBA has watered basketball down to such a level that it's only about offense and no one plays defense anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Actually, 100%. I say that.
That's 100% true. I mean, you look at these guys; they are not as physical as these other
Old
teams.
man take of the week.
And it's like, sure, they're more skilled, but
They're just not scrappy enough.
when you can't bend the rules, and when you
Where's
can't,
the Jerry West out there?
oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not talking
man.
again. I'm not talking about guys that look like me.
Back in my day,
No,
we
like,
had an enforcer.
that's my thing with 20th century basketball. You can count on these hands how many guys could really play in today's game.
Yeah.
But those guys are just as good as the ones today. Like they were truly special talents at that time. Like, Michael Jordan, duh. Like
Yes.
Dominique Wilkins, however, like overrated as shit. Like
Yeah. He was a one-trick pony, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't hit a jump shot.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain would put every single center in today's NBA in a blender.
They
Like,
had so much, like Kevin McHale. What would he do in today's NBA?
I mean, if Kevin Love's as good as he is,
Kevin McHale had the ultimate post moves. Like a guy like in today's NBA.
Old man take of the week. The old
There you go. That's it.
No, but
Kevin McHale would score 25 a game.
this jersey right here, Larry Bird.
Larry
Bird post back surgery at age 36.
And I wasn't even a great Larry Bird fan.
And he was 36, 37 years old, couldn't really move. He would still be as good as prime Rashard Lewis.
Right.
Like out there, he'd do the same thing. Go out there, get 17 points a game, be a knockdown, standstill shooter.
Magic Johnson would score 20 points a game easily and probably have 10.
That's
10
the one I'm not
assists.
with. I don't see what makes Magic Johnson better than Ben Simmons.
Oh my God!
no,
He could shoot
Derek,
way better
fucking
than Ben
serious?
I'm 100.
Simmons.
Okay,
All
not the Ben Simmons of the last 3 months. The Ben
First of
Simmons
all,
of the first 4
All
months.
right, I'm a huge Magic Johnson's like my favorite basketball player of all time.
100%.
But
not a Magic guy at all.
He was 90% free throw shooter. 90%.
His jump shot was a shot put.
Yeah, but he made it
He
sometimes.
hit it.
Ben
hit it.
Simmons never makes it.
Would he make it?
He wasn't like he was probably like 35% from 3-point if they had
on a
that.
shortened 3-point line.
No, like the NBA 3-point line.
It was still a foot and a half shorter than today.
No, it was not.
Dude, Ben Simmons is scared to shoot layups sometimes. Bro.
That's why I said not the Ben Simmons of the last 3 months.
I think that having a
Ben Simmons
6'9"
at his
point
best.
guard,
Yeah, Ben Simmons is super in his head
backing
right
down
now, for sure.
guys and could pass better than Ben Simmons, and he could shoot better than Ben Simmons. I think that was the difference in Ben Simmons.
He's also more skilled than Ben Simmons.
I think that's the thing about Ben Simmons is like he's too one dimensional. He can make a good pass, and he's got a lot of vision, but
he makes no sense. He was hitting fadeaway jumpers at LSU.
He shouldn't be a point guard.
Yeah,
he should be a power forward, but he never transitioned his game to get to that level.
I just don't understand how he cannot make a jump shot.
I can't either.
Because his jump shot doesn't even look that bad.
It doesn't.
Dude, I could eventually make a 3 in the NBA if I was in there for 6 years.
Practicing all day. Right.
My thing with Magic truly is, though, if he didn't have 6'3", 6'4" guards on him when he was doing that shot put, what do you do when LeBron and KD go guard that guy?
Yeah.
He's fucked.
Yeah.
Possibly. And I think that's the eras, too. I mean, you're talking about...
he's still an all-time great, but I just don't think he'd be Magic Johnson in today's game.
Well, speaking of the eras, we posted something today that was top 10 LSU football players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a heated debate. And I knew it was going to be.
Which was the entire point of posting.
I posted it, and it was my...
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now. Get off my lawn.
Sorry to interrupt you, Matt.
It's the old man taking the week.
But if you guys have even seen the picture, you know who made it.
What do you mean? The actual post, right?
Yeah, you know who made it simply based if you've seen the post.
What do you
Yes. So
How
if
do you
you've
mean?
seen the post, go see the post. It's on Twitter on One Team One Pod.
You mean the rankings
Yes.
image?
1 through 10, and you can see who made it. Well, I didn't post it. I didn't say my name. Actually, I said Devin Pyle, I think, at the bottom.
No, you said that you were the one that posted earlier.
No, I did post it. It was me, completely me. Just kidding. But
why do you say that that's obviously him?
Why? Because I'm old.
We'll get to that one.
Because I'm
Well,
curious.
yeah, because I'm old. All right, so I posted it, and I was actually getting like pushback of like I didn't go far. I didn't go old enough. Like there's a lot of old players that I didn't include, and I'm like, dude, I don't know where I could fit these people in at this point.
Right.
I wish I could post that.
Did Charles Alexander send you a text and say like,
Oh,
"Hey man, fuck
I
you,
do
man."
love Charles. We've had Charles Alexander on our other
I know
podcast
you have.
twice.
You
So
have his phone number, I know.
freaking love Charles Alexander. Yes,
Yeah,
right.
please do.
But no, he wasn't on the list. Charles Alexander didn't make it, and I think it was all right. So running backs, we have Kevin Falk and we have Leonard Fournette,
and Billy Cannon was on there.
Billy Cannon.
Oh,
right,
Billy
absolutely. Billy Cannon was third. So I had Joe Burrow, Tyrann Mathieu, and then Billy Cannon.
And Billy Cannon's strictly on there because he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's like
if
I
I'm actually
understand-
comparing him to these guys
I understand
today,
eras and like trying to compare eras is difficult because you have to take that person and like, what if Billy Cannon grew up today and like or say, you know what I mean? Like you have to like figure all the stuff out.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. And it's the same thing actually when we were talking about NBA guys from old times. Like, if Magic Johnson would have grown up, in today's world,
he'd be a monster.
He would have been better
Yeah.
than he is
Yeah,
than he actually
absolutely.
was back then.
Absolutely. I'm saying if you dropped 1984 Magic Johnson
Sure.
to 2020, he's
Okay.
not
Right.
an all-star.
All right. But
Okay.
anyway, so what were you
Gotcha.
saying, Matt?
Well, and so Billy Cannon was the rule there, and it's also like Tommy Casanova. I have to put Tommy Casanova in there because he was such a legend at LSU,
Sure.
and it's
His
like,
numbers retired. He has to be
his
in the top
numbers
10.
retired. He's got to be in there. I never saw Tommy Casanova play, but I've heard tons of stories on Tommy Casanova. So he's 6, I think, is what I have him, or 7, one or the other. But the top 5, and I've heard some people tell me that this is not debatable. The top 5 is Joe Burrow, Tyrann Mathieu. 3 was Billy Cannon. 4 was Kevin Falk, and then 5 was Patrick Peterson.
Right.
And I'm like,
I saw a few people that said Glenn Dorsey should have been in the top 5.
I saw a lot of that, and I disagree with it. And so every time that I disagree with somebody on this, the problem becomes like, I love Corey
comparing
Webster.
errors.
I love Corey Webster. Let's just get it out in the open. I love Corey Webster. He does not belong in the top 10.
I'd say he's a fringe top 20 player.
I love Jacob Hester. Love
At
everything
best.
about Jacob Hester,
He's
but
a
he does
fringe
not
top
belong.
50 player.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'd say 20, 25, something like that.
Nah, come on, man. He had one 1,000-yard rushing season.
But he
And
did a lot for that season.
No, for sure.
I have to think about all that things.
In terms of impact that he had on the program, definitely.
So-
Jacob Hester had a significant impact. But
the
in terms of players,
yes. But the biggest argument that we've had for this entire list was that it is Jamar Chase versus Josh Reed. And I have Josh Reed as number 9 on the list. I took a long time comparing this too, because I posted about this like the day before, and I said, "Is Josh Reed the top 10 LSU football player of all time?" And of course, people were like, "Yes, absolutely." They have no idea what I'm even looking at with this list.
Right.
This list is ridiculous.
Yeah.
To have a guy like Josh Reed in the top 10 is a big deal. To exclude and omit Jamar Chase took a lot of thinking with this.
and
it was either Josh Reed or it's Jamar Chase.
Here's why it's crazy to me, because like that means you're saying that Josh Reed is the best wide receiver in LSU history, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it has to mean what you're
It
saying.
is. It is.
And I just
it's not off of talent though. Also, it's not just talent.
Okay, so what are your rankings based on?
I mean, if it was off of talent, why wouldn't OBJ be in there? You know what I'm saying?
Because he's not better than Jamar.
That's my ranking of LSU receivers all time.
I'm about to get crushed on this, aren't I?
I
Sam,
don't think so.
You're like loving this.
I don't think
Sam.
you're saying anything that's crazy.
Apparently.
1 Jamar, 2 Odell, 3 Justin, 4 Butte once he's gone, 5 Reed.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All right, I can't give you Butte now. though.
Butte already.
But
set
I
the-
mean, I wasn't
But you're
even
saying like
I wasn't even going to give somebody Stingley earlier today.
I mean,
so, like, if I
Wendell
said that, then I
Davis
can't
is in
give-
there. Like
I'm
these are guys
projecting.
that are like legends of LSU football and receiving.
Although,
And they're
but, like,
different eras,
Yeah.
right?
Michael Clayton.
Michael
We're also
Clayton?
forgetting Michael Clayton.
My number 1 is Eric Gilbert.
Okay, give me.
That's
No,
fucking
sorry.
but I truly say that for Keyshawn Butte because we've never seen a freshman receiver like him in LSU. There's
I agree with that, and I just
And-
don't think that. I think in a couple of years that list can be made, but like right now,
yeah, that's just me projecting. I'm saying
Justin
by
Je-
the time
Justin
he leaves,
Jefferson-
he'll be up there.
so we can say Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Josh Reed,
Odell, Mount
and
Rushmore.
Odell. That's your 4.
That's your Mount Rushmore.
But like,
easily, right
wouldn't you say that Jarvis Landry was better than Odell Beckham in college
No.
at
now.
LSU?
He had
He
better,
wasn't.
He had
Absolutely.
He had a
He was-
better LSU career, right?
He had better chemistry with Zach Mettenberger.
He was more of
That's
a fan favorite, but Odell was better.
Well, you say he had better chemistry with Zach Mettenberger. Was he a better LSU player than Odell Beckham?
it. No,
Yeah,
because
no,
people forget what Odell did on special teams too.
Yeah, that's
Well, what about
really
Jamar? Well, okay,
Or
you're talking about
Tyrann
the
Mathieu,
returns.
I mean, this is
Tyrann
that's
Mathieu
not
was-
a receiver,
so
but
that-
Tyrann
that-
Mathieu.
But he was number 2, so that's
Tyrann
not.
Mathieu is my favorite LSU player ever.
Yes, but he was number 2 on the list, so I can't do any better.
No,
than that.
yeah, you know, I
yeah.
This is a hot take. I don't know if it really should be hot if you really get into the. That was a raindrop.
That was a raindrop, so we have raindrops. So FYI,
We do need to speed things up.
yeah.
Um,
About to go to the bathroom
um,
too. Do your hot take. I'm gonna go.
so my hot take. Oh, you got to be here for this one. I'll hold it.
No, we're ready. I mean,
All right.
we're ready. We're all
All right,
primed
all
and
right,
ready.
all right. We're going. So the hot take is Jamar Chase is the second best LSU player of all time.
That's too high.
How is it?
What do you?
Um, All right.
Go ahead, Jack.
He's better than Tyrann Mathieu?
Yes, he was a more worthy Heisman candidate. If-
Then Tyrann Mathieu?
If you go by the numbers of every other receiver that has made it to New York, Jamar was better than all of them. He was easily
Okay,
more
but we're not
proficient.
comparing Jamar to every other wide receiver. We're comparing Jamar to Tyrann Mathieu.
And he was. I think he was,
Tyrann Mathieu, in my opinion, was one of maybe a top 5 most worthy Heisman candidate of all time.
Complete difference
Just
maker.
defensive players.
I would say
you could argue Ndamukong Suh. You could argue
He's the
definitely Charles Woodson. I mean, he won the damn thing. You could argue
Ed Reed.
outside of that, I don't
Ed
even
Reed.
know who else.
Ed Reed.
What was,
Yeah, Ed
what was the
Reed.
hot take? Let's get back.
He said Jamar is the second best player in LSU history. Yeah, right.
Look,
I mean,
all right. He had 84 receptions, 1,780 yards, and 20 touchdowns. That's more touchdowns than Josh Reed had in his career at LSU. That is more yards per reception than anybody in SEC history. That's more yards per reception than anybody to ever record 50 catches.
but
in
it was
college football.
only for like 1 year.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but okay, but
He-
Josh
Ty-
Reed's
Tyrann
big
Mathieu-
season was only for 1 year.
Tyrann
too.
Mathieu
He
only
had
had one big year.
1.5 basically is what.
Well, then you can say the
Josh
same
Reed
thing
had.
about Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but Josh Reed has like 3,000 yards receiving.
Yeah.
And what would Jamar have if he didn't have the rookie?
But
leader?
Josh Reed doesn't have touchdowns.
Take 2019 and take. All right, if we're talking about, we're going to talk about Josh Reed and Jamar Chase right now.
Do it.
Josh Reed was a junior, and then he left, and he went after his junior year. He had 1,740 yards receiving.
Yeah,
Okay, but
7
that's
TDs?
actually he had more than that because they're not including his bowl stats.
So the bowl was like 1,800 or something.
No, it was no, because he had 240 yards in that against Illinois.
That was at that game,
right? So he actually had just under 2,000 yards.
Right.
And I don't know if he caught a touchdown that game, but he only had 7 touchdowns in those in the regular season.
I get that. Now, my thought is, all right, if you're going to take Josh Reed and you're going to take Jamar Chase, you have to look at the offensive styles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you had 2001, you had a combination of Rohan and Josh Booty in that year, and you had a little bit of Matt Mock at the end. And it's like, but you had a lot of guys under center, a lot of still that play action stuff. You didn't have 5 wides. You also didn't, and the conversely, you didn't have Justin Jefferson as a competing wide receiver,
or Terrace Marshall, who was taking every touchdown.
I get that too.
Terrace Marshall's a top 10 receiver too.
And
if you go all the way through it,
I'm just saying.
History?
All right, so
sure.
say you took, I mean, to me, you would have to take, if you had to remove one out of the equation, you'd have to remove Justin Jefferson out of the equation, and you moved Josh Reed into the 2019 offense. Would Josh Reed have more yards and more catches than Justin Jefferson?
No, definitely not more catches.
It's just tough, man.
Then who?
It's very tough. Justin Jefferson.
Because Justin was in the
yeah,
slot.
you see, that's another thing. I think
that's what I'm saying is you move Josh Reed into the slot. That's what he was playing at LSU back in 2001. You move him into the slot where Justin Jefferson was. Does he have more catches and yards than Justin Jefferson?
No, yards he might, catches I don't know. I mean,
I think
if he's with Jamar, no.
I mean, he had like 90 catches at LSU.
Yeah.
2001.
But as the only real option.
Sure.
Oh, no, that's not true. That team had Robert Royal, too.
Well, we had other wide receivers, but yeah, it was.
Wasn't Michael Clayton like a freshman on that team?
Michael Clayton was a freshman.
But
I mean,
but Michael
the
Clayton's
amount
a top 5
the
receiver
amount
in
of passes
in LSU
and
history.
attempts compared to what we had in 2019, it's
so.
night and day.
If you're building a team, would you rather have a wide receiver or like Chase, or would you rather have a safety like Tyrann Mathieu? I mean, who do you take? I take Mathieu because he makes plays. He's everywhere. All right, yeah.
That was a question that we had a couple of days ago, which was if you were going to take one guy off of the past year's teams and bring him back for this year, who would you bring back? And everybody here was saying Joe Burrow.
No.
And we were saying Tyrann Mathieu.
Lyle
or
Collins.
Patrick Peterson.
So you wanted you want even more than that. You want an offensive lineman, which makes complete sense, right?
Right.
And we were said that if you don't pick Joe Burrow, you obviously don't know anything about football.
Or no. Someone said and they said you're not an LSU fan. Is what they
You're
said.
obviously not an LSU fan if you don't pick Joe Burrow.
Which makes no sense.
That's bullshit. And that also is trying to tell people if they picked like Tyrann Mathieu, who's the greatest defensive player I've ever seen in college football, maybe like Ndamukong Suh. Those guys created so much impact on the game.
Right.
But to say that you're not an LSU fan if you pick that guy, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's nuts.
That's the old man taking.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
It just
to say that you're not. It does that has no correlation. Being an LSU fan and having a certain opinion about a specific thing regarding football.
There is a large faction of LSU fans, and I was saying this the other day, that idolized Joe Burrow in the 2019 season, and they have no sense of themselves going after that. Like they've seen all. Yeah, shut up, Sam. No, they think that Joe Burrow hung the moon, which he did, obviously. But to say that Tyrann Mathieu isn't like pretty much equivalent to like the greatest LSU football player of all time.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the greatest?
I mean,
other than Joe Burrow, second.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase would be second.
Absolutely. Like if they were consistent with their criteria, Jamar Chase was second in Heisman voting.
Right.
I mean, Devontae Smith's season, he was better. He was better than Devontae. He was better than Amari Cooper. Those guys won the Heisman and finished second.
Amari Cooper didn't win the Heisman.
No, I'm saying those guys won the Heisman and finished second. Amari Cooper finished second.
And they weren't in the same season.
Amari Cooper finished second in Heisman voting? I don't remember that.
That's why I'm saying it's like the consistency. These guys had these numbers.
Yeah.
And that was with Jalen Waddle going down. And Cooper had nobody. He had Ardarius Stewart as his number 2 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar had a better year than those guys, more proficient, everything.
And he had the competition.
And he had Terrace Marshall with all those touchdowns and the best rookie receiver in NFL history next to him.
Right. Which we all knew was going to be
sure,
stud.
but
and he's second best player in LSU history with all that around him.
but okay, to play devil's advocate though, Devin, Jamar had Joe Burrow throwing him the football, while Amari Cooper had what is his face?
Sims.
No, what was the guy's name before? AJ McCarron.
No,
and then
it was Blake Sims.
Blake
Amari
Sims
went.
Yeah,
and Blake Sims was a good quarterback.
Blake Sims was that year.
He was a good quarterback.
Okay, but
Lane
like
Kiffin,
Blake Sims or Joe Burrow, it's not close.
In terms of your production, I mean, I would. It's pretty equivalent when you have 3 guys versus 1.
Wait, no. I'm saying Joe Burrow or Blake Sims.
I'm going to get killed for this one, but how many good games did Joe Burrow play before Jamar played?
What?
Oh. So
before they played the right receivers, how many good games did Joe have? He was.
So you're
fine
talking
with
about
that
like
bad
2018
offense
compared to 2019, right?
In 2018,
Okay, but you're
once they
comparing
put
2
Jamar
different offensive coordinators.
But he's saying even in 2018,
Joe produced once Jamar got on the field, even in 2018.
Yeah. And Sam, you're in charge of the rain. If it gets too much,
Yeah,
you're our rain police. So if we have to have a rain delay, that's Sam's.
Yeah, I mean, well, I thought that like 5 minutes ago.
Jamar Chase started the first snap at LSU in 16 games. He started 16 games for LSU.
Right, starting in UCF, right.
And so he didn't play against Northwestern State. Took a week off after the Texas game.
Soft.
He started against Southeastern in 2018. So in those games, Jamar Chase he's the only player in LSU history to never lose one start they ever played.
Congratulations!
Wow. I know it's not. I know it's not all
team around them.
That is a take of the week right there.
I mean,
not old man take of the week.
I mean, young man take of the week. Like, what do
young
you
man
give this to?
How much did Joe? Like, I love Joe. He's the best college quarterback of all time.
Jeez! Oh my God, Devin!
It took him.
You are.
No, you're a Cam Newton guy.
It's definitely not want to be Vince
Tackle
Young.
the guy.
Want to be Vince Young? Oh shit!
That's Cam
all right,
Newton to you, Devin?
that's too far. Cam Newton's better than Vince Young in my opinion. If we're gonna go there,
I'm just gonna let him keep digging himself.
I think USC 05 is better than the Miami team that everybody compares.
What the fuck? We were talking about Tyrann Mathieu versus Jamar Chase.
But you're saying
Vince beat them, and that USC team was going to be a 2-time that they were going to be seen as Clemson was if Clemson beat LSU.
Well, how good would they be if they had Jamar Chase on their team?
Oh, if instead of Dwayne Jarrett and Steve Smith, they would have won.
Yeah, absolutely would have.
Like,
I mean, they would have won everything by 50.
Y'all had a first-round corner get fried by him. Okay, that's the thing. And Jamar
it's not my fault. He got drafted first round. Anyway,
Jamar turned it up against the big teams too. Every single game against the top 25 opponent, over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Like when the stage mattered most, his easiest game he was.
That's not true. He only had 60 yards against Oklahoma.
Look at Tyrann Mathieu against Georgia in that SEC championship game.
You're right, but he had 2 targets and they bracketed him all game.
No, I know. And then Justin Jefferson had 4 touchdowns.
I mean,
it
was which one?
No, I understand the situation.
I stand by my list, so that's the debate. Is I think the debate was really going to be who's your wide receiver that's going to be on this list. and I have Josh Reed.
It should be Jamar. I think it should be Jamar.
I'd put 3 of them on there.
What somebody told me was that so 2020.
Wow.
They basically told me that I should hypothetically put in Jamar Chase's 2020 numbers, and if he would have broken all the records. And I said, well, you can't. You want me to add the 2020 numbers? Like, that's how you're.
No, because he quit on his team.
No. I get that he's more talented, and I get all that. And he had a great year, 2019. But statistically, overall, for LSU, I still think that Josh Reed is in there. He had 3,000, more than 3,000 receiving yards in 2 years. And was Biletnikoff Ward, all that kind of stuff. First round pick.
Counterpoint. Josh Reed was 21 years old when he had those numbers. Jamar was a teenager.
I agree, but we never saw him as 21-year-old.
It was all right. Pro days, you can only take so much away. You could tell, holy shit, Jamar is a lot better than he was.
For sure.
Yeah. But, okay,
it was like,
but here's another point. We're talking about these guys during their career.
At LSU?
And like Jamar's career ended.
No doubt to me
at the end of
Jamar Chase's career is going to be way better
than NFL.
Josh Reed.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Most receiving yards in national championship game history.
Right.
Thank you, Devontae Smith's injury.
Yeah. So how many yards was that?
Devontae was like 6 away, but at the same time, when you're the only option on your team, I don't care.
What was the yardage though?
For Jamar Chase?
Yes.
229.
229.
Oh, hold on. They also have what's the dude's name? Number 8.
He's a bum though.
Mechie's a bum?
Jesus. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Hey.
We're quick on the bum button over here.
John Mechie is the 3rd most talented receiver on Bama's roster this year.
Well, so JoJo Earl.
Man, I don't agree with that.
Who you got as the 2 guys?
Aguiye Hall. He's going to be the best one they've had since Amari.
Oh my God! Wow.
Aguiye.
They just had the Heisman winner.
Amari was better than Devontae. Being a senior doesn't matter.
But this guy's going to be better than Devontae already.
Yeah. Devontae's not even the best one of the 4 they had. Judy's better than him.
Your face. Okay. All right.
Who
is second?
Being older doesn't equal being better.
I agree.
And Devontae,
nobody was better.
He didn't outproduce Judy.
I mean, when LSU played against them,
right?
Devontae was the guy who couldn't be guarded. And there's a reason that Stingley guarded
play.
Huh?
That was
on
a trick
play and a garbage time on a terrible defensive press call.
I don't buy it.
Okay, but still,
now,
there's wait. No. Wait. If you even take those 2 plays out, which I've had this conversation with somebody before. If you take those 2 plays out, Devontae Smith still had like 120 yards on that game.
On the kid that he used to play with on the bootleggers, and he's 2 years older than him, he knows his every move.
Oh my God! Come on, dude. But okay, there's a reason that we put Stingley on him.
Well,
our best corner. There's a reason we put him on Devontae and not on Judy.
Well, let's get back to it. So
yeah, sure. We're really getting into the weeds here.
Yeah, but we were talking about. So who's the second best receiver on Alabama's team?
This talent wise, or how they're going to produce? Because those things aren't equal.
Will produce.
Will produce. John Mechie's probably going to. He'll be up. Somebody will be very close to rivaling him with it. But the thing is, it's going to be 2 freshmen that are battling for those numbers.
Who are those guys?
Javon Baker and Aguiye Hall.
Okay, but not JoJo Earl. I've heard a lot about.
He'll be a good one. I just think the path to the field's really tough because they brought in so many young guys. And it's like Mechie.
So this freshman is
role,
going to be like the number 1 wide receiver.
Aguiye Hall, I truly like. He is an absolute monster. If he's the best one since Julio, I wouldn't be shocked.
Better than Jamar Chase.
Jamari Chase?
Whatever, Chase. Yeah, better than Chase.
Too many Trulies over there.
Yeah. So, all right.
But better than Josh Reed, Matt?
But I ask you, what did John Mechie do in a wide receiver 2 role? Nothing at all. He was a wide receiver 3 deep play bomb guy when the coverage would break down. It's like he was not a volume receiver of any kind. He's in a good offense. He's a good vertical threat. I mean, 3rd round receiver type, but
I thought it was a great compliment to Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
and when Waddle came in, obviously it was a completely different story.
Yeah, and I guess when I say bum, he's nowhere near the level of any of these Alabama guys that have been coming out in past years. But he's a fine player. I'd take him on LSU as our number 2 guy right now.
Yeah,
this
no
year.
doubt.
Yeah, so
Y'all
I guess
don't
our
talk
number
about-
2 is
Don't talk about that.
That's going to be a worry for
Joshua Kirkland, right? As of right now.
I would
think
say Dre
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Dre Jenkins
But
coming in.
if we were smart, it'd be Deion
That's who it should be. Who?
Deion Smith.
Deion Smith, yeah, we were talking about him.
Or Chris Hilton.
Yeah,
I think those dudes are real close, right?
I like Hilton more. It's just Smith enrolled early.
And then Brian Thomas is also, a
Good player.
good fucking player.
And Malik Neighbors has a ridiculous catch
Malik
radius.
Neighbors, I think, has a little while to go, though.
Yeah, but he has a ridiculous catch radius. That's the one
Yeah.
thing I can live with. It's like for a guy who's not
Man.
huge, but it's like he can go
Dude,
meet the ball.
But he looks like a freak athlete, bro.
Yeah.
He looks
Do-
jacked.
Do you think that he will stay on the offensive side or move over to the defensive side? Because I've heard cornerback as well.
I don't know. That's tough.
Shea Dixon once compared Malik Neighbors about 2 years ago. He compared him to Jamar stylistically.
Okay.
Funny enough, I mean, obviously on the less recruited Jamar as a DB.
So he's going to
maybe-
be like the
Right.
second or third best player in LSU history, basically.
That's right.
No, he'll be nowhere near. But it was obvious. Like, I could sit on that Jamar topic all night. He is true. Like
We should
it's-
probably get off the
yeah,
Jamar topic.
Well,
he's
We're
just
really
different.
draining on that.
Well, and that was my old man take of the week was Josh Reed is number 9 and I have Jamar Chase out of the top 10.
so you probably have him
not
at
in
like
my top
11
10.
then, right?
Get off my lawn.
It's extremely.
Did you hear me? I said
Extremely
get off my
close.
lawn now.
For sure, extremely close. So
I think Devin White's better than both of them, by the way.
I had
Who?
Devin White at 10.
I know. I think you should have Devin White at 9.
Over
then
Jamar?
Jamar.
And then move them
Huh?
down.
Over Jamar?
Yeah.
I know, right?
I mean,
It's hard. It's very, very hard to
well, he
count
played
that.
he played a full career.
I mean, Devin's special. I'd put him in the top 10, but
Sam's muted himself and he's like not taking the bait on this.
I mean, Devin White was the best linebacker in the country for 2 years. That's all I'm saying.
you think too?
Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
Roquan Smith was pretty damn special that year, though. I'd give it to Roquan and then Devin. Roquan was special that year.
He was good. I just don't think he was better than Devin White.
He wasn't. Devin's buckets year was better for sure. I think that.
I think Devin was better both years, and I think they
Really?
gave it to Roquan because those committees like to give it to seniority.
If I was building a team, I would take Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Devin White, probably even Glenn Dorsey, all above Jamar Chase. If I had to
All
go
right.
back and pick my fantasy draft, I'm just taking the stout defensive
well, let's
guys.
talk about Glenn Dorsey for a second because I got some pushback
Yeah,
on Glenn Dorsey.
we did.
And here's the thing about Glenn Dorsey that I have to say is he won all the awards. He won all the accolades. His junior year, in my opinion, was better than his senior year. His
Yeah, it
senior
was.
year, he
He
got
was hurt a
hurt
lot.
against Auburn. Auburn cheap shot at him, went at his knees.
I remember
Yes, and
that.
I'll show you I'll send you the clip.
Send me
Sam.
the clip. I got plenty
Please
of clips to
send-
show
I'll
your
send you the
ass,
clip.
Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you the clip.
War
They
Eagle, baby.
cheap
You
shot
talking
at
about
him,
cheap
hurt
shotting
his
some of
knee.
bitches.
They hurt his knee. The guy was standing over him after he hurt him. It was the worst thing.
It's not a great look.
I
mean,
not a
whatever.
good look. But it hurt him from then on. He wasn't the same player. We gave up a ton of yardage and a ton of points that year.
Yep. Especially
in,
up the middle.
in 2007 that people don't remember.
And we didn't have Ricky John Francois the whole year.
That's right. And then we had him in
Till
the
the
championship
championship,
game,
right.
and all of a sudden he's a demon.
He's like, okay, this guy's like a top 5 defensive tackle in
Yeah.
the country.
But some of the stuff that we probably should have looked at with Bo Pelini earlier too. Like, we all thought about Bo Pelini and we thought
Excellent
of his
defensive coordinator.
great like defensive mind. He's very aggressive. He could blitz and all that kind of stuff. But 2007, man, we gave up a lot of yards and a lot of points and a lot of big plays, bro.
Yeah, but we were still like, I mean, you lost your best player on the team, and then you still
But he
were
was
like,
back.
You were still like 12th in the country defensively.
Yeah.
Which,
Arkansas.
For that to be your
Gashed.
worst year.
I gotta be honest. When it comes to Bo Pelini, if we were gonna give up as many yards as we did last year, I really thought it was gonna be on the ground. I didn't think it was gonna be over the top.
Yeah, well, I mean, if
looking
you wanna,
at his Nebraska,
if you want to say
days,
anything about
like,
the defense, it's that the defensive line was like anything good about the defense. It's that the defensive line was
the edges were awesome.
Was fucking sick.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think going into this year, LSU has a top 3-5 pass rush in the country on paper. They have to produce like it because the D tackles we don't know yet. We haven't seen them do it together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But The edges? Oh my
Yeah,
God! Find a better duo.
But I think
Right.
Jaquelin Roy is
Special.
an excellent
He's good.
pass rushing defensive tackle.
I agree.
Him
and Smith.
he should be in on every pass
Him
down.
and Smith would be great. Yeah.
Smith's just
You think Smith is gonna start by the end of the year?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we were thinking too.
Dude,
I don't even think it'll be end of the year.
I hope he's
Like
starting at the beginning of the
early
year.
on. Yeah.
Well, we agreed on
I
that. The
hope.
same front four, like Roy, Smith, and the edges.
I think the starting lineup at the beginning of the year will be Glenn Logan and Neil Farrell.
Mhm.
I could see him putting Roy in over.
and
all
I
of them.
could see Farrell actually staying in the starting lineup the whole year.
Yeah,
I could see that.
And then you just rotate.
And
in
it's
and out.
it's going to be a big rotation.
Yeah.
All four of
And-
those guys I love.
And-
Really, I
and
do.
a lot of people like Farrell was supposed to have a big year last year, but he opted out and he came back 10 days before the season started.
Right.
Like that dude wasn't in shape. It's like
Yeah.
he was planning
I've
to
always
not
thought,
play that season.
I've always thought he's been a good player, but
He's always been pretty good.
he looks fat. Does he not look fat?
Neil Farrell.
He always just looks so fat.
I didn't see that.
It's like his he just doesn't carry his weight well, but then he moves so well. It's really weird.
And
I think it's because he wears like small shoulder pads.
the guy that I really miss LSU having. I think he would have done some good things here. I mean, he would have been rotational with this edge rushing group, but he came up with so many big sacks. Was Justin Thomas now at UAB?
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
Yeah, that was a tough loss there.
He was so
solid.
good at just at the right time. He was going to do it.
Yeah.
Bring him in on third down, and that's the guy that's going to get pressure.
Right.
And like he was young, and I was like, I cannot believe. Oh, and then UAB. I mean, their defensive coordinator. I blanking on the name.
Yeah.
Old white guy, mid-50s.
Bill White.
No.
No.
I can't think of it. That's about the most white guy mid-50s name you could come
But
up
that
with.
was the
That
guy.
was a great job.
We were looking at it. I know Bill White sounds good. Huh?
You
Yeah,
probably
that
at
was
least have
He's
to.
like a
it's Bill-
60-year-old defensive coordinator. Grew up in the Midwest, probably.
I don't understand why y'all know the UAB defensive coordinator.
Bill
He was a
Clark
big.
is the head
Oh,
Why do y'all-
coach
David.
of UAB.
Oh,
Bless
no. David
Bless you. This is excellent podcasting.
Oh yeah.
Freeze?
We're trying
No,
David Freeze.
no, that's the Cardinals guy. Hit
we're trying to think of a name. Matt sneezing into the mic.
That
That was a rough one.
No, yeah, I can't think of it. But he was a candidate on like Shea and all them were like, yeah, he's on the short list for LSU. Oh, David Reeves.
David Reeves.
David Reeves.
That was what's his name? Reeves' son. Dan Reeves' son.
really.
Yeah, Dan Reeves' son.
Yeah,
That's why he's a defensive mind, is what they call him.
David Reeves is an awesome DC, but I see why Coach O didn't go with another.
Shout out UAB, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I see why he
It
didn't.
was, it was Bill Clark, our head coach. Y'all were
Bill
trying to
Clark
take
is
to
like
become our defense coordinator.
Bill White.
And
Bill
Oh,
Clark
we wanted
got it.
Reeves.
No,
Yes.
you wanted Bill Clark for
Bill
the
Clark-
DC, and he said, "No, I don't want to do it. I want to be my own coach."
No. I
Okay,
think we were
all right,
going after
all right,
Reeves.
fine. No, you
No, it
weren't.
was
You
Reeves.
weren't. You were going after Bill Clark. You weren't. I mean, I was there. So, and then
You were there?
yeah,
You were actually there?
yeah, I'm a UAB grad. Bill Clark. I mean, grew up in that. Bill Clark was the head coach at Prattville High School when I was in Prattville, Alabama, and then he won a shitload. He won state championships and went to UAB. Anyway,
Is he
Bill
the
Clark. Bill Clark is the name. He's the guy you guys wanted as defensive coordinator, and then he said no.
Oh, okay.
I know we wanted to interview Reeves and we didn't even get to.
Nah. What do you think about Durante Jones? by
See
the way?
that's where I was gonna go. It's like Durante's just his goal line scheme alone of just pack the goal line and beat us, bitch. Is like I love that.
I do too.
And it's just like beat us. I have dudes out here. I'm gonna let them be dudes.
Yes.
And I like that mentality. I think Young just being relatable with the players as well as like Andre Carter. I think that'll be good.
Yep.
And that's why I'm okay with why they didn't go for David Reeves because you just fired Bo Pelini. Well, let's just go get another old yellow and
And
white
you-
guy 5 years younger than him.
I kept hearing like, okay,
Yeah.
they're looking for a minority hire. That's why they went after Marcus Freeman first.
Well, also Marcus Freeman was the best defensive
Yeah, he was the best
coordinator.
defensive.
Oh, for sure.
Candidate.
But
He's
yeah,
burned our ass.
but yeah, it that's why that
Oh yeah, we
it
did
went down
we
the,
got burned
the wrong way.
at the 1 yard line. We did.
Exactly. So,
just
but
like the Mizzou game.
man, the Durante Jones hire to me is going to make the world of difference for this team. Where it's like you got a guy that's defensive coordinator that can relate to the players. He's super cool. We've been out, had drinks with the guy. Like
Yep.
he's going to be able to connect with anybody.
And
I've heard plenty of stories about Bo Pelini out in the wild, and it's like, man, that's not the guy that you would have thought that you would have bring in right after a Dave Aranda that was a soft-spoken.
Right.
Yeah, everyone who's like met Bo Pelini was like, he's kind of an asshole.
Or he's just, it's just different style.
Never
That's
heard
what they would say it nicely. They would, just different style.
He's just, he's old
Dave
school.
Aranda, he's old school. Yeah, right.
I really think too that Durante, like, he was clearly not a big name hire, and I kind of like that.
I do too.
Get the right guy. You don't have to go splash and be like, oh yeah, back to 07 we go. Like, we got our old guy. Like,
Well, we were talking to him one night, and we were jokingly saying, okay, Tulane came calling and wanted you to interview for the head coaching position at Tulane, and he goes, I would take the interview in a heartbeat. Like, any head coaching job, I would take in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And so I love that fact that he is looking to, like, ascend.
Yeah,
he's
from
trying
where
to prove
he's at
something.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you got a guy like Bo Pelini who's
like
probably never going to be a head coach again.
I'm looking to retire at this position.
Right, he went from head coach down to DC, and apparently he spent the most time on the U Club course than anybody in 2020. Is what I heard.
I also heard he's at the Geno's bar a good bit.
Oh, okay.
That's where I heard he likes to spend his Monday through Friday afternoons.
Should have been at Fred's, you idiot.
That's right.
Or Bogies.
Yeah, you could have been at Fred's. You lost out.
Yeah.
All right, so
Too old.
What were some of the other things that we were going to be talking about? We have the finals tonight, right?
Yeah. Golf picks too.
Golf, sure.
Oh, we
right.
didn't even make our picks.
All right, so
we didn't talk about it though.
Golf picks. We have one team betting, and we also have the one team media account. I don't know what y'all guys are doing with that.
On one team, on one team media, I didn't tweet anything out yesterday, but there were no. I'm not betting on the MLB All Star Game. So
but I saw
sorry
you
about
posted on one team media for your golf stuff.
Yep. And I put all the picks on there. I'll go over them again now in case you didn't see it. And so this disclaimer, like, I will be the first to say, I'm good at betting football and golf. Like, I enjoy betting those things.
That's right.
Golf is probably my easiest thing to bet. Vegas does not know what they're talking about. I mean, these guys have kind of seen. I'm not trying to suck my own self over here, but doing all right.
I try to do that. I try to do that.
Yeah,
all the time.
Jack does that for us.
I always
Jack's
try.
the fluffer.
I always try to suck
of the group.
And total on golf since the COVID restart alone, I'm up 76 units betting. Outrights
what,
are a
from
wonder.
win to win?
The COVID restart of golf to now.
Wow.
76 units.
Okay.
Then
not to suck your own dick.
No, not to suck my own dick. I'm truly saying, like, if you're looking for golf picks, like, don't listen to me on an NBA pick when we get to that. Don't listen to me. I'm telling you right now, golf, I'm not too bad. So this week,
I'd say whenever you post your picks on Twitter, you should go hashtag suck my dick.
Hashtag blowing myself.
Perfect.
And then,
hashtag my dick in my mouth.
Yeah. Then anyway, so for this week, I mean, Royal St. George's, I mean, they played it there 10 years ago. You got to be able to either hit it long or you got to be a European with some experience.
Okay.
And Dustin Johnson should have won that tournament 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It is a very safe bet. There is a 75% chance he gets a top 15 this week. There's a 25% chance he misses the cut. So, total, I'll start with the outright bets.
I just can't see this guy missing the cut on this course.
I can't either. And that's
it's a safe course for, like, a long hitter.
A long hitter that can take his 2-iron off the tee and say,
I mean, you're just completely blowing it, like, as far
boom. Yeah.
As far as oh, look at her taking a dump in the background. Ellie was taking a dump in the background earlier. I can't see a long hitter like that unless you're just blowing it on the putting green.
I think Bryson's gonna miss the cut. If I'm not betting on that, but Bryson DeChambeau plus Link style golf plus, the other day you could tell he was not doing good off the tee, even with Rogers. He's been a mess off the tee for a month.
Yeah,
he was relying on Rogers to put it in the fairway, and then Bryson's all right with his irons still.
Right,
but in his practice rounds, he was going out there taking driver. He's going to try to overpower British Open. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I
can
see that.
He's built for U.S. Opens, but British, no shot. So for outrights this week, I went ahead and put half a unit on Xander Schauffele at 13-1 odds.
Love that.
Xander Schauffele, I mean, you just know he's going to be up there.
I mean, I would love that if it was a top 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
He's always up there.
Exactly. And like,
leaderboard.
I'm like, this is his style of golf. If he's going to win one, like, why won't it be now? John Rahm at plus 700, terrible value. He's, and he's not going to win the Opens back to back. He's not that guy. Like,
I don't fucking know.
Not that guy,
I like John
You
Rahm,
don't think-
great golfer. He's not going to do the Open Slam. He's not Tiger. And then
Right.
We got to start preparing for the next Tiger, though. I'm all in. Like, let's make John Rahm that guy. Let's let him.
Charlie Woods.
Hey.
Charlie Woods.
And that's
Woo!
like, dude, that's like
Futures bet.
it's like 15 years from now,
He's
though.
like,
So
he's in like 7th grade now.
That's like
Give him
it's
7 years.
okay, yeah,
like
7, 8
5,
years.
7, like
Mm.
5. He'll be in amateurs.
They're gonna go into that.
Bro, that 3-wood he hit at that father son thing, that was. I've never hit a shot that good in my life.
You can tell, like,
And he's like 10.
another golf disclaimer. This is actually me sucking my own dick, but I don't.
Here
even
we go.
care.
Jesus.
There we go.
And golf disclaimer.
I'm very good at golf. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, whatever. Charlie Woods would kick my ass, and he can't drive a car, and that he can't hit it that far. But yeah, he is.
How was that
special.
sucking your own dick?
I
You
mean,
just said you lose to a 12-year-old.
It's sitting there.
Because I'm a 2 handicap.
His dad can't drive a car either.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, Tiger. I love you. It was
Yikes.
just right there in front of me.
Dude, that
was good work right there.
that's excellent
Yeah.
jokage right there.
Perfect. That was very good.
That was good. You got to have some balls to crack some jokes in this world.
That's right.
And
Canceled.
So
Yeah.
hashtag cancel.
that's.
Speaking of canceled, let's talk about Stephen A. Smith.
Oh,
I'll go through these. I'll stop
'Cause he's not
rambling,
canceled.
but I'll,
Go ahead. Yeah,
I'll
you
get
gotta
through-
go
I'll-
all your-
Yeah, I'll
your-
speed up. Get going through these. So we got Xander Schauffele at. Let me read them off just to get you the exact
Sure.
total. I got
Uh,
a screenshot right
so last time for the U.S. Open, I was in this pool, and I won. And not
love to hear it.
not to suck my own dick or anything, but
Well, that's a segment now.
not to suck my own dick or anything. That's the name of the segment.
here. That's a great. I mean, it's
Wait,
like a
it's-
little confidence is necessary in this world.
It's gotta be
Hashtag be cocky.
suck my tiger dick, right?
Suck my tiger dick, bitch.
Yeah.
not to suck my
So-
own tiger dick or anything.
Thank you. There we go.
That's a good transition. Okay.
So I won the pool, and now this week I said, hey, where's the pool this week? I'm ready to join up and play some more.
They said you're not invited.
They said we're not doing it this week,
You
which
wanna-
is
you wanna
probably
join mine?
total shit.
Yeah, you can be on.
You remember
be
mine?
on his
I was telling you, because I won.
How much money do y'all put down? Because they only made me pay $20.
Oh, ours is 15, and the winner takes home over 600.
There you go.
Sign me up.
It's like a FanDuel deal, right?
Exactly.
I'm
And-
terrible at FanDuel golf.
Yeah,
Terrible.
that's because it's really fucking hard.
I love it because a lot of people, what they don't do, you need to build a balanced team because you get $50,000. You need to build a balanced team because you have 6 guys, and if you miss the cut with 2 or more, you're screwed already.
Right.
So you got to have 6 solid guys with no real drop off, and guys that
And
can push up
hopefully
in
one
contention,
that can
and guys
yeah.
that can surge up. Because my team for the Masters was Hideki Matsuyama, Will Zalatoris leading the way.
Okay.
They were the top 2 by a mile. Nobody
Yes.
else had that
Yeah,
combo.
Yeah.
But then I had Reed, Tommy Fleetwood, and who are some of the others? I can't think of them, but the point remains. There was no
What a-
real
what a
drop-off.
great pick
Cameron
with-
Smith.
Will
Jamar Chase.
Zalatoris.
Jamar Chase
Jamar Chase. What?
was his 6th.
No.
Oh.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, Zalatoris.
Zalatoris is a fantastic pick for
I-
the Masters, right?
and
Like nobody knew who he was.
Nobody knew, but that's the thing. It's like I love to follow college golf. I know probably nobody in this world does, but you can find a lot of the next best players in the world right there. They're top 30, 40 in the world. The moment they get out of college, you just got to let them play in tournaments. PGA is a bunch of idiots.
Right.
And then Zalatoris is still like getting sponsorship exemptees for the rest of the year. Like he's not even officially in doesn't have an official card yet, and he got second in the Masters. Unless he wins this year, he's not an official member yet until next year.
So, who are the other any other picks for the British Open this weekend?
Yes, sir. Here we go. So here's the full list. We got 25 to win 625 on Louis Oosthuizen plus 2,500.
Solid.
Louis
I hate him,
Oosthuizen.
but he's solid.
Louis Oosthuizen's finished top
Hate him?
5 in both majors this year.
Why do you hate Louis Oosthuizen?
It's a foreign guy. Just doesn't. It's not attractive. I like.
He is an ugly dude.
I like.
I
attractive
love a good
Americans.
ugly golfer, though,
I
man.
love Louis Oosthuizen. The shades, because back when he won
True.
at St. Andrews a decade
Long
ago,
time ago.
I thought
right.
he was the. Which, if this was at St. Andrews,
But he was like 23 at the time.
yeah.
Something
And
crazy.
if this was Louis at St. Andrews, you should bet on him blindly. He's played there twice and gotten first and second.
Yeah, he
like
knows
that-
the course like crazy.
Right. That's his course. But still, Louis in majors this year, incredible. Then we got the Xander pick I read off earlier, 30 to win 390 plus 1,300. Then we're going 10 years ago. The winner was Darren Clark, an experienced British guy.
Mm-hmm.
A similar golf game, a guy who's due to finally get his, playing good lately. Paul Casey at 33 to 1 odds. That is
I always love a good Paul Casey pick, man.
Paul Casey. That's 15 to win 495 right there.
Dude just straight makes cuts.
Yeah, that's all he does. And then we took Dustin Johnson with half a unit to win 475 at 19 to 1 odds.
19 to 1.
On
That's
Dustin
unbelievable.
on Dustin Johnson on a course he got second place at and blew it.
And if he
10
gets
years.
hot, you know he can blow the field
Yeah.
away.
It's like
obviously
they're pretty much relying on Dustin Johnson to not show up for a
Yeah,
major. I'll bet on
exactly.
Dustin Johnson in the major.
Right.
And then here is my other strategy when it comes to major golf tournaments. So you have golf tournament matchup bets. Take 3 every week. It's impossible to lose 2 of them. So you got Kevin Kisner over Francesco Molinari, minus 130. Louis Oosthuizen over Bryson DeChambeau, minus 130.
Mhm.
And Dustin Johnson over Jordan Spieth, minus 115.
I like the over Jordan Spieth, even though Jordan Spieth has played well in the British Open.
Yep.
But I do like. There's certain guys that, one of the guys that I count on just crashing at the like in a round matchup is Rory McIlroy. Like if you can bet against Rory McIlroy in the first round,
But during
you're
the
hitting on that thing.
during the U.S. Open,
At majors, at least.
in my
Majors.
pool I was doing, I sucked because I just rode with all the guys I took for the Masters out of loyalty, sentimental. But
Yep.
I took Rahm outright at plus 900. He was the outright favorite. And, I mean, y'all remember in the replies that guy was telling me how it was chalk? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's chalk. It's winning.
As long as it
Like-
wins,
like-
right?
Fuck. And, what an idiot. So, then,
Yeah, fuck that guy.
yeah, it was just some random guy in the replies. If you're reading this, stop betting on golf before you have to sell your house.
Oh yeah, is that what he said?
No, that's me telling that to him.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that's
No,
what he
he
told
came
you.
in there slandering one team golf bets as if that's not the only.
This guy's coming in here sucking his
coming
own
in hot.
dick.
No,
Yeah.
but if you look at the history of one team, one bet every day, it's up about 11 units right now. It's about 11.2.
We need to post that. We need to post the unit, how much you're up on the one team,
Yeah.
one bet.
Yeah, we
I'll
really
start.
I was
I'll start-
only looking at the hockey bets
I'll
because I
start
hate
do-
I hate hockey
And
betting.
that hockey, I was getting smoked this year. I'm typically good at the postseason. Like golf's
Dude,
the only winner we have.
Hockey
on one
was
team.
fucking weird this year,
I get
though, bro.
crushed on
The,
hockey
the
betting.
Avs,
Except for Lightning winning it, I guess.
how
is
did the
pretty
Avs
chalk.
lose? Like it's just,
Dude, how'd the fucking Canadians make it to this fucking cup?
Well,
I'm
so-
a Jets fan. That one hurt when they swept. them.
Finals are tonight, and I think it's already started, right?
Probably.
So
I mean,
probably
it's
already
like,
started. Who was
we're going
tonight?
so
Was
late.
it was
Bucks,
was it
Suns, and
was it Phoenix minus 4.5, something like that?
Bucks minus 4.5 in Milwaukee.
Bucks
over under 221, and I saw it was like
Phoenix and the under maybe something like that.
That's if I were betting it, that's what I would do. Which I've been like a noted Devin Booker fan since he was at Kentucky. Like this team, my friends get mad at me. I think the Suns are going to win multiple championships if they keep that core intact.
Well, with the Chris Paul would be the
Yeah,
the
exactly.
answer to that.
Like they
Yeah.
have to keep Chris Paul, but,
But how much longer is Chris Paul going to be in his prime? He's already like, what, 34 years old?
if they can keep
30, like 5'6". But if Chris
Yeah,
Paul
that'll-
takes a step back, you would expect Ayton to take another step forward to make up for it, or make Kyle
and
Bridges.
Booker.
Sure,
Like,
but I
and
think
so
Chris
both of
Paul
them.
is what's making that thing go
I
around.
agree. I think Chris Paul does make it go around, but
Yeah.
I can see both.
Just the way that team moves the ball is awesome. I mean, the other night we talked about it, and I said Bucks, simply because Scott Foster was reffing. Chris Paul's lost his last 13 games now, ref by Scott
That was
Foster.
game 3. You thought Bucks were easy on that one, right?
Yeah, it was just like Scott Foster's reffing. They need ratings. Let's not make it's not going to be too hard here. And tonight, my prediction for the series was Suns in 5. But like I said, I'm not a good NBA bettor. But I've gotten every Suns series prediction correct, and I haven't put money on it. So
Like the games or
No, how long the series goes.
What was
Yeah,
the
that's what
over
I
under? It was 220.
221.
221. You think
Which-
that's a
I would take the under in Milwaukee. Phoenix is they'll slow you down on the road, chip away, and the Bucks have been playing good half court defense themselves.
Yeah. And I think it was 4.5. Like that's a pretty good. I like that. Phoenix.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Bucks are the
Bet,
best
even if it
defensive
was
team in
like-
the league.
If you're going to take Phoenix at all tonight, I mean, I'm not sure if it started, if it hasn't, but if you're going to take them
Take 'em
before the
straight up.
game, take them straight up. It was plus 190.
Yeah, better
Like-
odds. Yeah, take him straight up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Game hasn't started yet.
it
so
hadn't started yet.
you got time.
Yeah, put it in, guys.
You probably have like 5
Um,
minutes at most.
Yeah, I think that
We do need a bet for today. I'll get that one out there. Suns money line.
Well, you put a ton of golf bets out there, so everybody
Yeah.
can check that out on One Team Media.
Yeah.
And then we have One Team Betting. Williams kind of doing One Team Betting. I think he's connecting with you on that too.
Yep.
Where
He
y'all
told
have
me
the
I could
betting
share
going
them
in
there.
there. That's right.
Yep.
Um,
We have our one team research and development.
We were told
Yeah.
this week that we have too many Twitter accounts out there, and
Yeah.
obviously, what it is, it's a
It's just-
conspiracy.
Well, it's all.
Can I name drop the guy or no?
Here's no, please don't.
Okay.
I don't care.
No, I just don't want to, give him any credit for doing anything ever.
Yep.
But what this individual thinks is that
Haters.
Matt is running all of the accounts.
I run all the accounts,
including Radius Podcast, which he's
And-
not even on.
and all I'm doing is talking to each other on these different accounts, and I'm also just following each other, and that's why we have 3,000 followers on Twitter, is because I've just created 3,000 Twitter accounts, and that's the way this is rolling now. That's
Matt
why.
took the time, created 3,000
And you know
Twitter
what?
accounts.
This guy posted this. Somebody sent it to me, and I took the bait on it. I got pissed off, but this is what happens. So
Yep. This is what happens when you bite
That's
on
right.
haters. Yep.
That guy's been in my mentions before years ago.
yes,
Goofball.
I'm
there's
sure-
a lot of these guys. They don't like the fact that we're just fucking around. Like,
Yeah.
is it okay that we don't have an opinion about every? It's not a fact that we put it out every time. If we
Well, it's like
speculate, we like to make lists. Like, it's okay to do all this stuff.
We're having
fun.
having bar talk conversations.
Exactly.
It's like, I do have an opinion, but I'm not going to, suck my dick or anything.
Oh God,
gonna-
damn,
I'm not going
this
to,
thing again.
Like, you got to understand though.
all
like,
these people like to suck their own dicks off.
as a sub 6 foot white guy, golf's the only thing I had athletically.
Right.
Okay, yep.
That's true. Like, so,
That's a skill sport and a half right
yeah.
there.
I mean, I played basketball, but there were 2 kids on my team. One of them plays for Tennessee. The other one plays for the Houston Rockets. So
Are you
I-
still
I-
sucking your
I
own
wasn't
dick?
playing for- no,
What?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I played
Whoa.
0
Who-
minutes.
sounds
wait,
like
who-
a,
I
who's
didn't
your
play. I didn't play.
Who
1
was your
minute.
Houston?
Who's your guy on
Rocket
the Rockets? Yeah.
Armani Brooks
Okay.
Yeah,
He went-
yeah.
went to my high school.
He
He was
went-
a 0-star recruit out of high school.
Where do you go to college?
Oregon.
Houston. He was the guy that scored 30 on Kentucky in the Sweet 16.
Oh.
I remember that.
McNeil, Maverick. Also, my high school had AJ Abrams that played with Kevin Durant back in the day. little number
AJ
3.
Abrams is the director.
Oh yeah, but AJ Abrams,
Liar.
little guy that played with Kevin Durant.
JJ Abrams.
JJ, that's JJ.
Abrams.
Yeah,
JJ Abrams.
But yeah, so
What's he done? JJ.
and then
JJ?
Y'all
Independence Day?
Oh, so he's not a good director then.
Well, he's like a impactful,
Mm.
like one of those directors.
and do y'all know Victor Bailey on Tennessee, lefty guard, number 12?
I know that
Victor
name,
Bailey.
actually.
I do know
Yeah, he
that
played
name.
for Oregon. Transferred.
Oh, white
there.
guy?
No,
No. No.
Uh,
Shut up.
he's a lefty. I mean, like he was the higher rated one of the two. It now turns out that it looks like Armani will go on. To have
What
a
high
better
school
career.
is this?
McNeil High School in Austin, Texas.
McNeil in Austin. So
So I had back surgery and then ended up
Ruined your basketball career.
ruined as if the school I was at wasn't already like enough of a sign. Which if I even at that point, just being there for like the memories, all of it, seeing those guys play at that age is a lot cooler than saying, "Oh yeah, I had 12 points one night."
right.
It's like I don't care.
Mhm.
And then that school, my school, played Westlake High School where Drew Brees went.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were the #1 public school in America at the time.
Big time Austin school.
And we didn't even have Armani Brooks at the time. We had a kid who was being recruited by Wichita State, transfer in, and we beat that #1 team in the country by 20 points.
Wow.
And our high school was like the number 4.
Westlake was #1 in the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our high school turned out to be #4 rated in America on Thanksgiving Day, and they finished 4th in their district that year.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah, and they lost their first playoff game.
It's because you had that back surgery.
Boy, talk about choke. I mean, choke job. Who's a coach? Get him out of there.
Yeah,
Oh
really.
no, hey,
Yikes! They can't coach the big games.
Fun fact:
Gus
the
Malzahn guy.
coach sucked, and they actually
Who's
they
this
had a
Bryce-
6'10"
Brian
big
Harsin?
man who plays for Air Force that quit the team too. But
Golly.
that team, yeah, it was. So they lost that playoff game.
They had
They
a real
lost-
roster management situation going on.
Yeah, they did.
They lost on a buzzer beater
They should have
To
started Max Johnson.
to a freshman. A freshman 15-year-old hit a buzzer beater over VJ. His name was Garrett Wilson,
Is he like
Ohio State's #1 receiver.
Oh, wow.
So Garrett Wilson is a
He's
15-year-old.
not bad.
You go in the gym. I shit you not. I was in there. Jimbo Fisher and Leonard Hamilton were both there to recruit Garrett Wilson to Florida State for 2 sports. Wow.
Sheesh.
It was the most.
He doesn't
ridiculous-
play basketball.
No,
for
but he
United
was
States,
he was a 4-star basketball recruit. He just happened to be the number one.
Speaking of basketball, can we? I am like
And we need to at least touch on it. And
I am like hyped up about the one guy in particular. Adam Miller
Oh
to
my
me
God.
is going to be a freak at LSU.
If his facilitating can translate from this FIBA stuff, because he wasn't really a facilitator with IO, which makes sense last year.
Yeah.
But if he can be our facilitator of this offense, oh yeah, this team's gonna be special because they have no holes. That's the first LSU team under Wade we can say that. Where
Yeah, and I don't
if they have somebody that can set the floor on offense, they're gonna be all right. You can really when have they ever had that other than Tremont?
I don't
the
remember
only
enough
thing
about.
that this team is missing right now is just somebody who's just a bucket getter.
I think Miller can be that guy.
I think he can be.
Pinson? I mean, Pinson, what did he score last year? 8?
13 points a game.
I thought it was more than that.
And I think Alex Fudge is going to be very good.
I think he's a
Sure.
hard worker,
Sure.
too.
Alex Fudge, early enrollee. I wouldn't be surprised if he was started by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing I'm wondering is just like the past since Will Wade's been here, we've had Draymond for the first 2 years,
Uh-huh.
and then he left, and Skylar Mays averaged 17 points a game or something. And then
Javonte averaged a
last
lot,
year
too.
it was Cam Thomas.
Right.
Right, Javante,
Watford
steady
was putting
15.
in buckets as well.
That's right.
Watford, right? Nas Reed was in there.
I
just-
think you can't.
who is that guy
I
that we
think you
just
can't.
go to on
You
offense?
can't expect Darius Days, and we've had this conversation on Facebook messages and stuff about Darius Days going from 12 points a game to possibly like 15 points a game. I think that's very I think that could happen. Darius Days, and I've said it a jillion times, is he reminds me of Draymond Green. And Draymond Green has the same stats until his senior year. And in his senior year, he went 16-10. And I don't know if Darius Days can get to 16-10, but 15-9, 15-8, that is not out of the realm of possibility for me that he can average something like that. And it's not out of the box to see him get a production value, kind of like how Draymond Green did his senior year. And if that happens, bro, that opens up everything. Like,
I think we'll need more production than just spot up shooting from him, though.
I agree
if
with
he's
that.
going to be that guy.
And I also think you need some more defensive. And I think that having a guy behind him like Efton Reed or Sharif O'Neal, if he's going to be the guy that's going to be,
if he's going to be
down
healthy.
low,
Dude, if
backing
Sharif O'Neal
up,
is healthy, this team is going to be sick.
I agree.
Because Sharif O'Neal is really a dude.
And it's depth that you really need. You need a big guy with depth. And you need somebody that's going to be behind Darius Day. So when he gives up a guy down the lane, you got somebody there to back him up.
And so, but that
we had no rim protection.
That point that you just
2
made
years
is
in a row.
why Darius Days' rebound numbers are not going to go up.
Yeah.
Because Efton Reed's down there snatching them all.
And I think
they may even go down.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I think if Efton Reed is just as good as Cavell Bigby Williams, that's already a success.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be better.
Absolutely.
Cavell is a good player, but I think Efton has a lot more potential on the offensive side.
How much did that free up Nas Reed to score down low? Because you had a guy like that
and
that
Nas
could
could
back.
really pass the ball for his size.
He could.
Right? And I think that's where Darius really loses. Like that's where I don't think he can do the
He just
Draymond
doesn't
stuff.
facilitate as much as
Draymond is a really good passer.
But Draymond at that time was also having to play point forward because they didn't really have a point guard either. I mean,
Draymond really did it all on that
They had
team.
Corey Lucius, who ended up at Iowa State the next year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So Pinson, I haven't seen a lot out of Missouri. So
Yeah,
I'm just hearing
He's
about him.
solid. Not an extreme facilitator, but he'll score double digits.
Pinson,
Yeah.
Miller be your two guards.
He's aggressive as fuck, as
Mhm.
Pinson is.
He's gonna pressure. I think this is gonna be the best defensive team Wade has had.
Oh,
Not
for
like that's a
sure.
high bar.
No doubt.
And
but
you add a guy like
It's a-
Tari Eason, who is like I've
Yeah.
seen plenty of
Dude, I
him.
completely forget about Tari.
This guy is just
Uh-huh.
like a scrapper down low. He's gonna scrapper. That made you laugh.
Big scrapper guy.
We got a comment in the chat. Today's episode is officially longer than Efton Reed's commitment.
Oh yeah,
So-
probably. Who said that? Who said that? by the
Who
way?
was
I
that?
think
That
it
was
was. I think it was Jude.
Jude.
I think
Jude
it
said
was
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I don't even know if anyone's watching anymore.
Who knows? But well, they'll listen. So Tari Eason is very active down low. I think that's going to help guys like Efton Reed. It's going to help guys like Darius Days. I don't know if he would play the 4, and what I really wanted was Darius Days to play the 3. If he really has NBA potential,
I'm 4.
he's got to play the 3.
I'm thinking 4.
He's
I-
got to
no.
learn how to play the
4
3.
for the betterment of LSU.
I agree with
He-
that, but for the betterment of Darius
Yeah, I
Days,
agree.
he has to learn how to play the 3, or
Yeah.
he's toast.
No, I agree with.
I
yeah,
agree with
I
you.
agree with that.
I agree.
If he's going to come back,
Yeah, he can't play.
like
He can't be our 3 man.
He
I-
can't. He's not.
he doesn't have the defensive ability
It's
to
like-
do it.
He plays like I mean, not Brad.
Brandon Bass.
Brandon Bass. That's
Yeah.
who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
Just 2 inches shorter. And he being 2 inches shorter. Brandon Bass was already undersized for a power forward.
Yep.
So he'd be a super undersized power forward, which is why he needs to be Draymond Green if he wants to make it in the league.
Yeah.
Because
And
he's the same build as Draymond Green, basically. 6
Yes.
feet tall, pretty filled out.
6'6", 6'7" ish.
Exactly.
What
Something
does
like
a Havoc ball lineup next year look like? Just
I-
like
So
Pinson, Miller.
Gaines.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what
forgot
I
I,
was
Gaines.
thinking.
that's why I like Gaines. Is dude, I've been wanting to see a press out of LSU for 2 years now, and I feel like we've never had the depth to do it.
I think this team will press.
I think they have the depth to do it.
I think the Havoc lineup, to your point, is Pinson, Miller, Gaines,
Yes.
Alex Fudge
Alex
at the
Fudge
4,
and
and then
Eason.
Tari Eason at the 5.
Spot. I agree. 100%. That's perfect.
That because dude,
Have fun, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I mean, you're still long.
you
You're
have-
still very long.
Yeah, because
Fudge,
dude, I mean,
is huge.
Yeah,
like
he's
Fudge-
6'7", 6'8", but
I
he's
think
got
he's
he's like
6'8".
He could reach that door.
And then
Yeah,
Tari
he's-
Eason's
yeah.
maybe 6'9", but I mean the way he plays,
Yeah.
he plays above the rim.
and he had a lot of block shots.
Yeah. I mean, he plays like he's like a 6'11" guy. For
I don't
college.
think it would be crazy to say Alex Fudge will be the most fun player to watch in their time at LSU out of anybody under Wade.
Wow.
Most fun. If
I mean,
he
Draymond.
it
I mean,
depends
yeah.
on it depends on how long he stays. But if he stays a second year to play here or a third year,
Yeah.
and he's putting the ball on the floor, getting buckets at all spots of the floor with that athleticism, plus what he already does in the open floor and passing the ball,
Mhm.
he might be a monster.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he needs
think
to put weight on, but
I think he could. Yeah, he does. He's very undersized. Undersized in terms of filling out. But he reminds me a little bit of Brandon Ingram. That's what I thought when I was.
And I think you can be undersized if you're a 3. Like,
and he's undersized skinny wise.
4
like, in time,
is
he
tough.
might be fine.
And I want to see these guys hit jump shots and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But that's why I like Days in that role too, where they can kind of like switch out if they needed to. There's no real 3 or no real 4. They're just 2 forwards.
Yeah.
They can kind of swing out.
I think if LSU gets into a game next year, because I think they'll want to slow it down a little more than they have in past years. And I think when they do that, let Adam Miller play James Harden ball.
Yeah.
He was doing it in Europe. Just
Let him go
last
one-on-one
week.
on a guy.
Let him go one-on-one. Lefty. He's got moves. He knows how to facilitate
I
off
think
of it.
I
He
think this
proved.
guy is lightning in a bottle.
And the thing is, last year I was parading that Illinois basketball was a bunch of frauds since November. One of my friends is from Chicago. He goes to Illinois now for grad school. Like,
How are they frauds?
every good team they played,
They
got
lost.
blown out,
Yeah.
and then they were scraping by Big Ten bottom feeders, and they got one big win against the unhealthy Michigan. And so I was like,
Yeah, but I mean, they were a good team. I mean,
oh, yeah, they were definitely good, but like,
you had Adam
national title-
Miller was their sixth man, and then you had Kofi Cockburn, obviously, and then Ayo Dosunmu.
Where's this guy going to end up? Kofi Kirkburn,
dude,
by the way.
Could he come here? Is
I
that possible?
don't think I haven't heard all the rumors about
It's
this,
either
but I thought it was
Florida
Kentucky, and then they were out.
It's Florida State or back to Illinois. I read.
Back to Illinois,
and he's
go
also
in the portal and then go back to Illinois.
He also entered for the NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's an option too.
I think it's Florida State or draft.
Wow.
That's what I thought I saw.
Yeah, I don't know if LSU has a shot at all, but I can guarantee you
hopefully
that Will Wade has inquired.
Shit, right?
Yeah, they have inquired on Kofi Kirkburn. I can tell you that right now.
We could reach out to him for an NIL deal.
We could right now. If he needs to come.
My thing with Illinois, though,
$200 a month.
That dude off the bench who went back for a fifth year now because NLI stuff, whatever. Trent Frazier.
Frazier.
That lefty. There are
for who?
Illinois.
Okay.
He was their starting guard that started over Miller. Shouldn't have. He, for 3 years when I was betting on Illinois when they were an 18-15 team, that guy would just point shave blatantly. And it was just, I was like, what the hell is your problem?
You're following it hard, and you're like, no way.
I have such an
blue chips.
I have such an agenda against Trent Frazier that also DJ Carton of Marquette, he's on the list too. So those two, they blatantly point shave. And like any game they are in, it's like, sure, they might have one good game every 6, but you know that in the biggest game of the year, when their season ends, they're going to shoot like 1 for 10. What did Trent Frazier do? 1 for 11 against Loyola Chicago. And it was just, I was telling my friends all year, I'm like, guys, he is one of those guys.
He's going to let you down.
Red light, green light players, it's like, you don't want those guys in March.
Dude,
you would rather the under-heralded guy come off the bench and hit 6 threes when he usually doesn't play.
Well, sometimes the red light, green light guy works out, like Shabazz Napier.
Yeah, I would say he was just a green light that whole year, though.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
That's fair.
I'm waiting.
Although not necessarily though, because they did come into that as a 7 seed.
And Boatwright helped take the weight off him too.
That's true.
Yeah, freshman year.
I always forget about Boatwright.
Yeah. DeAndre Daniels. They had that big guy. Can't think of his name. And they had, what was the white dude? Niels Giffey. It was Niels Giffey, number 5, white guy.
Dude, I don't even know who that is. I don't know how you remember all these names.
Well, my parents went to Iowa State, so I remember like I was watching that game with them.
Gotcha.
Right.
Because if Iowa State, y'all remember George Niang?
Yeah,
for sure.
Iowa State lost in overtime by 5 points to that UConn national champion team. George Niang broke his foot in around 64. He didn't play.
Right.
Like Iowa State fans, like a lot.
They
of
were
them,
like loaded that year.
Yeah, a lot of them. They don't care when they lost to UAB. They knew they were going to lose.
Hoiberg wasn't the coach then.
He was the coach then.
He was the coach. Okay.
When they lost to
they
UAB,
were like loaded when Hoiberg was there.
Yeah, and when they lost to UAB, they knew that might be coming because that team was just like a bunch of head cases at that point. There were too many egos in there. But that team the year before, they would have won the national title if Niang didn't break his foot. And so I like my parents always like dwell on that because I mean Iowa State sports. I mean for us as LSU guys, it's like, well, you beat Oklahoma State, like kick rocks, but.
Yeah, ruined our national championship title.
All right, so I think LSU is going to have a fantastic year for basketball.
It's going to be so fun. I think it could be the best team Will Wade's put out there.
Could be.
I think so too.
They could be.
Well, I mean, results-wise, you just have to get by the Sweet 16.
If Will Wade gets to finish the season, then I would say it will be.
Yeah,
and a lot of people this is a very unpopular take when it comes to our SEC championship team. They played Auburn, Tennessee, and Kentucky all once.
Right.
All those other teams played each other twice.
So you had the best. You had the best line.
We fucking swept them though.
We beat them all.
Yeah.
2 of them were at home.
Sure, but we went and beat Kentucky on the road.
Yeah, but I think we were just better than Kentucky.
I
think we were better than Kentucky. I don't think we were better than Auburn.
I'm actually glad though that
I don't know, dude. I was at that Auburn game, and that was, I mean, I just felt like we were the better team that day.
Well, hell, the Arkansas game that we were
almost came back on us, though.
In 2020, the Arkansas game.
Yeah, but we were beating the shit out of them all day.
We crushed Arkansas here last year.
Mm-hmm.
It showed me right there, like, okay, this is how good we could play. And obviously, we didn't play to that level the entire year. But, like, that showed me right there, okay, the potential for a team like this is through the roof. And when you add in, okay, we're going to have a packed PMAC in 2021, man, I think that's going to work. Like completely go in our hands because people are going to be freaking fired up. I think it'll hurt us on the road too.
Yeah.
Like I think people
Oh,
are going
yeah.
to be so fired up for like full stadiums again.
Yeah.
And that goes to football too. I think
Yeah.
football. I don't see us losing.
It's part
a
of
home
why I
game
want to go to
other than
UCLA.
Alabama, maybe.
Yeah. I honestly.
Yeah, UCLA.
That's why I want to go. It's like just the first football game
Right.
available.
A take thinking about basketball. I think there will be more, or there should be more ranked teams preseason in basketball in the SEC than football.
But yeah, I can see that.
I think the SEC is going to be
SEC, I
terrible
think,
in
is
football.
down right now
in
football.
It's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a great year.
I saw a tweet from Brian
It's going to be very
Holland,
top heavy.
our guy Brian Holland at NBC 33, Fox 44. Shout out,
He's awesome,
Brian. I think he said this is the first sign of a down SEC year. There's only 3 quarterbacks invited to SEC media days, and he said that's the first sign of that it's a little bit down this year in SEC football. And you know, it's a obviously a take from like abroad a little bit there, but it's, I mean, understandable. Like you don't have a lot of returning guys that you usually would have in the SEC.
It'll be the worst since 2016, but not as bad as 2016 when every team except Bama had at least 4 losses.
That was bad.
That was terrible. But I think this year you look at it, I'm more confident in Georgia making the playoff than I am Alabama.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Georgia talk.
That's my preseason.
Dude, it's too bad they don't play each other this year.
Yeah,
in regular season.
and I think Georgia's going
I'm
to.
sure they'll meet up in Atlanta.
Wait, Georgia and Alabama? They don't play each other? No.
They played each
Georgia
other
plays
last year.
Clemson.
Clemson week
Oh,
1. And
yeah.
they're 4-point underdogs right now.
Dude,
Georgia is
4-point underdogs.
And so you're saying hammer that?
Take the plus money.
where's that game?
I believe
Is it in Atlanta or something?
it is Atlanta.
That's
Oh
good.
god!
Oh my God, they're putting the dog. I'm just putting that together. They're putting y'all have been to that stadium when the LSU plays Georgia.
Yes.
Were you at the SEC championship?
Yeah.
That LSU was outnumbered in their 80-20,
Yes.
like 100%.
Dude,
Yeah.
And
LSU was almost outnumbered in 2018
yeah, oh my
here
God.
at home
And
against Georgia.
Everybody
Yeah.
wants to. Everybody
It was
wants
the
to share
takeover.
the picture of 30 minutes before kickoff instead of kickoff. They had that stadium
Bro.
65-35,
Dude,
60-40.
it was
That-
it was borderline embarrassing.
But
I was shocked.
The
At the same
entire
I had never seen a home game for LSU.
the entire
like that.
east upper deck was red.
Even
Yeah,
before the
straight red.
game, we were at the Coca-Cola tailgate. Guys from Atlanta are just coming off of buses. Like, dude, it was unbelievable.
Can I go back to not suck my own dick segment again?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
During the field storm, first student on the field.
Wow, first one.
Really?
How do you know that?
Because I was in the front of the row and they had pictures and video of it.
Oh,
In the video of the
that.
people rushing the field, they show you right where everybody's going on.
I
and
mean,
it's me-
simultaneously
No,
the first guy.
it's
Dude,
me-
I was probably
compared
like
to the
the
first.
I was probably like the 30,000th person on the field.
I
I was so fucking high up. That
I
game.
was in the 50-yard
I ran
line,
down there
loving
with,
it.
I
so.
ran down there with 4 minutes left, knowing what was going to come, and I jumped over the wall. I wanted to get out there, and I also, this is a 100% true story. I won't lie about this. I ran up to Jake Fromm, told him he is.
You told him to suck your ass.
No, I won't say it, but
DX you?
no,
Oh, you're a pussy.
yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
we can say it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was like, I told it was like
Yeah.
Jake, you're
Kids
an
are asleep.
yeah, I was like Jake, you're an Jake Fromm, you're an effing pussy. I ran over there to him like 25, 30 feet away, and he pointed at one of the security officers.
Tell you
like,
to get him.
yeah, he was like, "Go get him," and I just ran back in the crowd.
Yeah.
Smart.
Swear to God,
Smart
it was
move.
like okay,
And
but-
you're like, I'm with Barstool, bitch.
yeah. Well, actually, at that time I wasn't.
Yeah, you
but-
weren't
Okay,
there
yeah,
yet,
you
right?
weren't there.
That-
yeah, that's right.
But that video, the point of that was when we were storming the field. It's not a good thing I was first on the field because I face planted going over the wall, and I like pretty much rolled up, and then there were 100 people in front of me.
Oh yeah,
once I was
you
standing up. Yeah, so if you look at the video,
trampled
you
there.
can
You
find
almost
the
got
kid.
Mufasa'd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just did a somersault over the wall, and I like flip up onto my feet, and there's just everyone's in front of me. I'm like, I gotta go.
All right,
I think we got to wrap this thing.
we
up,
have
bro.
got to wrap it up. A couple of sponsors I need to talk about.
I gotta go do.
Courtesy Buick GMC, Brandon Lejean over at Courtesy. We appreciate everything that they give to us. I'm going to be talking to Courtesy here soon.
Took the studio outdoor today.
Yeah, we did. Outside studio.
Y'all
It
probably-
feels great out here.
You can
too,
probably
by
hear
the
the
way.
crickets.
Who else we got on this list here? Sam Bear Process Safety. My guy Adam Berry. I actually saw him at the restaurant the other day. We had a lot of plans in the works with Adam
Oh
Berry.
yeah.
And I think that's everybody, if I'm not mistaken. So we appreciate everybody from checking in tonight. Outdoor edition of One Team One Podcast. We had everybody here except for Jude. Jude's in the background. We appreciate him checking out. Yeah, William couldn't make it tonight, but we're gonna have some videos of William here soon.
Yep.
William in the Wild.
Mhm.
That's what we need to call it.
I think we change the name like every week.
Yeah, every week it's changed. It's different. So we appreciate them. Check us out on One Team, One Podcast, One Team Media on Twitter and on Instagram.
Right.
And then check out oneteamonepodcast.com. We got a lot of merchandise on there as well. We appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. Sam, Jack, Matt, and then Devin over here.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
Y'all make sure to set your alarms. Brooks Koepka tees off in 5 hours.
Brooks Koepka. Is that what we need? We need Brooks?
He's the first. No, he's just the first group off, and it's Brooks
No.
Koepka.
Yeah, okay. We need to watch it.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's Brooks Koepka in a major. It's appointment television.
All right. So
set your alarms, folks.
We appreciate it, guys. Talk to you guys next week. One Team, One Podcast.
Logging out.
It's getting serious on this track.